Hello. Welcome. We're back for real. We had a little bump there. Literally just had to change the name of the stream. I probably could have done it live. I haven't changed the stream name live before. I know I can change the category live, so I thought we would just do that real quick. But we're back. It is day three of the Inkjam game jam. We've been working on our game kind of nonstop for the last few days. Today is going to be all about content for this game. So we've spent a lot of time building the framework, way more than I wanted to. We wanted to be done with that on Friday night, and we ended up doing that really all day Saturday. We have a little bit of content, but not really a lot to show yet. And so now we got to make this, actually a game that we play instead of just a series of mechanics. Let's see what we have so far. So we did a lot of coding the last few days. We have this one huge file. If we've got time, maybe we can come in and break this up to other files, but I just don't think that we do. I think that's something we're going to have to belay for now. Let's see what we've got for our game at the moment. If we start this up, okay, so we start from our totally blank scene, and our script is going to put everything in that we need to have in the first area, right? So bam, so here's our little world. As you can see, there's a lot of placeholder art. We had some nice art that some of our chat sent in. So we're here. We can talk to this King Cake. He says, "I'm King Cake. You owe me $100." We're gonna buff out that dialogue a little bit. We're gonna try to polish it up. But the point is there's a little dialogue system. We have a polish item to try to make that look a little bit better. There's a cooker here. You fire up the old cooker. Time to make some money. Rango, hey, what's up? What do you think of my ideas? Oh, yeah, I was just looking at Discord before this, but we've just fired this up. I like your idea of having the, so Rango messaged me on Discord with a cool sprite, for a gentle bird. I liked the idea of, he has like a cigar that we want to light. I like the idea of lighting the cigar. I don't know if we can change his sprite very easily right now. But we might be able to. We can do animation. It would be a little bit of an extra thing. It's a mechanic that we don't quite support right now. But he could be we could not change his sprite, I guess. But the idea is that we want to be able to pick him up and use him as food if we complete his little quest for him. What about my first idea, just carrying up most of the world's objects as ingredients? I think that's legit. And so I'll show you what we've gotten right now, Rango. So if we go up here, we've made our first kind of recipe. It isn't communicated to the player, which is something that we need. We have our first little crossroads area. Mingus Farms Creamery is to the north. To the south, we have King Cake's cool castle. We don't have anything to the east and west yet. But so like these berry bushes here, if you want to get these berries, we can take them. I saw Newt's lovely cake pillars. Love it. Yeah, so we can get the berries and carry them around. We can go up to the creamery, and there's a very good drawing of a cow. And we can get the cream, and we take the berries and the cream, and we can take them back to the cooker. And if we're carrying the berries and cream, we can say, berries and cream. We should clean up this copy a little bit. I'm in audio mode only, unfortunately. Oh, it's so funny in comparison to King Cake. Yeah, the pillars are awesome. I think we should put in a line of dialogue where, like, King Cake says that they came from a distant land and they're very expensive. Car signal on and off. Oh, all right. So we can expect you to be cutting in and out. That's fine. So you fire up the old cooker. Time to make some money. We can make the berries and cream. You make some delicious berries and cream, and it swaps it out for this item. This is our fantastic berries and cream. And we can bring it to King Cake, and you can say, try these berries and cream, and he says, dang, that was delicious, have $11. Great, that's our little demo of our gameplay loop, and if we talk to him again, he says, you owe me $89, so it's working. The subtraction works. Good. We expected as much. One thing that I forgot to show that was a requested feature was we wanted to be able to inspect items and like have a little dialogue with them. Should we go with double recipes of 3 ingredients? I think we should try to get just like a ton of recipes in. That's what we need to plan. That's one of the first things that we need to plan this morning is like what recipes are we going to have? Where are the things going to be? So these berries, right, we can pick them up and we can put them down, but also we can have a dialogue with them. This just says a handful of delicious red berries. But that way we can inspect every item. You don't have to guess what these red dots are necessarily. You can look at them. Should we have 3 or 2 ingredients for recipes? We can do either. We can have both. So like our berries and cream has 2. We can support either one. And I mean, I think that we should have a mix of both, is basically what I'm trying to say. So in terms of like ideas for how to make this more of a game, I think we need more areas, obviously, and more ingredients and more recipes. Those are all things that we obviously need. I think like a nice narrative sort of through line for our little game will be if this character's like recipe book and all of his ingredients have been stolen. So his ingredients have all been stolen. His recipe book has been torn up and the pages have been scattered around. And so we can find the recipe pages out in the world and they'll teach us the recipes. So like back at the house, or back at the kitchen, there'll just be like one page that tells us how to do a really basic recipe, and the rest we need to find. So no limit on how many ingredients players need to cook with. The limit is 3. That's how many items we can carry at a time. So you have to be holding all the items that you need for the recipe. So I guess 3. But it could be 1, 2, or 3 ingredients needed. We could just serve him plain berries if we wanted even. But presumably it wouldn't be as good. I was thinking keep some secret to experiment. I'm definitely down to do that. That's probably easier than than not keeping them a secret. So let's add right now that recipe book, or that first recipe page, which is just going to be berries and cream. The other thing that we want for this kitchen is like his bed, because the idea is the through line for this game is going to be we need to pay the rent to keep living in this kitchen where we live, so we want it to make it look like it's his little bedroom. The other thing that I thought it would also be funny if at the end King Cake reveals that he was the one who stole the ingredients and tore up the pages to test us, and that he just wanted to test us and make sure we were really the most excellent chef in the world, and we passed with flying colors. I think that would be a cute little button on it. King Cake, I think we should maybe allow him to eat anything, but his hunger gets quicker. I think let's stick with just this counter for now. I think that we could make like this hunger that like increases over time or something. It's going to be more implementation work. I think we should make it a goal to not add new mechanics if we can avoid it, because this is our last day. We gotta just get a ton of content in. We want to make a big world to run around in. So I think that's needs to be our focus today. So let's actually go to our notepad real quick and see what we have to do today. So tomorrow morning, we said we wanted to list recipes. So just come up with a bunch of recipes that we can cook. And then we want to stitch together a quote-unquote boring world. The boring world is going to be the world without any extra props. It just has the bare minimum kind of gameplay items that we need. Everywhere that there's dialogue, we just have placeholder dialogue. We don't, this will be, hopefully when we go to lunch, it will be technically playable. Okay, but we need to avoid players abusing the same thing over and over. They can't, though, because there's only limited ingredients in the world. So you can make berries and cream, right? Like, there's only 1 berries, there's only 1 cream right now. So you can't, some things maybe will have the same ingredient over and over, but then you've also got to, we'll make things that are easy to make worth less money to King Cake, right? So if you do the same bad recipe over and over, it just won't get you very much. Rather than having it be like, I get what you're getting at, that like the idea that if you serve him the same thing again, yeah, so we've got finite ingredients. Yeah, I think that that's a better gameplay idea, that like if you serve him the same thing again and again, it would get worse and worse. But again, just in the interest of trying to not pack in any more mechanics at this point, let's just keep it where it is. So this morning we're gonna list come up with a bunch of recipes, stitch together our boring world. Then we're going to eat lunch. Then in the afternoon, we're going to write a bunch of dialogue, a bunch of descriptive text. So all these dialogue trees we want to try to write. So our conversations with King Cake. If we have like NPCs in the world, we can do that. If we want to put descriptions on all the items, we can do that. I think that we should do that, at least, as some kind of, so that we can tell what something is, even if we can't tell from the graphic. After that, our next item is to add a bunch of props to the world. So just to decorate our world, put in things like, so I said like we wanted the bed in the kitchen. That's what we'll do then. And just try to fill out the world a little bit more, make it a little bit more interesting to look at. And then the last thing is do items from the polish list. So we have a big list of things that we would want to do to make this really nice. So things like fixing one of the sprites, which is a little bit funky. Things like making the hitboxes better, making the movement speed feel a little bit better, making the, space between objects a little bit better. Just trying to clean it up a lot. So we have a bunch of these items. And then our last thing that we should do tonight, let's just write tonight. We'll say export and submit the game. So that needs to be our goal for tonight, is to have something done, have it exported, put it on itch, send it in. Oh, speaking of, I checked other games. Didn't play one, but there's a Russian one about drinking coffee. That's interesting. Man, that is not the direction that we went, huh? We went this whole insane... I think we've been overambitious a little bit. Especially because if we were doing it in 72 hours or with a team... can we add on the list for a polish, limit king cake eating? Yes, we can. Yeah. Limit king cake eating. That's also, we've also got this list here of like nice to haves, which are kind of like other game mechanics we would have liked to have that we just don't have time for. So one is items having values. I don't even remember what that means. Items have values? They do sort of have values. Maybe different... Oh, items have values is like we can make the same recipe with different ingredients. And like if some ingredients are better quality than others. We don't have time for that. It would be a better game, but we don't have time for it. We have distinct items can fill the same role in recipes. That's similar. We don't have time for it. Movement trick. It would also just make this objectively a better game. We don't have time for it. Yeah. So we've got these in nice to haves. If we somehow come out of this with like a ton of time and it's like, 6 p.m. or something and we're like, oh, we got a ton of time, then maybe we can do add some of these things in. But let's not plan on having them. Cool. Slide screen transition. I'm just going to take this off of polish. We're not going to do that. Only pick up one item where, maybe we'll do that. Probably not. Cool. Multiple lines display together. That actually is really important. We might have to, this is one thing that we might have to do. No, it's a polish thing. We won't do it. Multiple lines displayed together. This polish item was supposed to be, if there are multiple, right now we can only show one line of text from our story at a time. And if we have like multiple, so we can't do something like, what I wanted to do was have the sign over 4 lines, say, to the north, there's this. To the south, there's this. To the east, there's this. To the west, there's this. We can't do that with our engine right now. The fix that we did was to basically just put them all on one line, separated by commas. And we just said, that's got to be it. We did get overambitious with some ideas, but we think with 3 days, we got a good loop that works. Yeah, I hope so. I'm hopeful it'll really come together as we fill out some more of these scenes and we do some more of this dialogue. So let's do that first thing now. This is our little introduction is over. We know what we got to do. Let's go to list some recipes. Let's make up a bunch of recipes. I think that will help a lot. So recipes. We can do bigger than that. Is that how you spell recipes? I spelled it recipes. That's not correct. Cool. So recipes. So we've got ingredients and recipes. And I think it would be cool if ingredients can be used in multiple recipes, but I don't think we should support recipes can use different ingredients for the same recipe, if that makes sense. Do you have control over how quick King Cake eats in case we need to change it after testing and it gets bigger? So we have control over how much money we owe to King Cake and how much money each thing is worth. So we can dial it in that way. We can say like, if we're like, oh, feeding him the berries and cream is too powerful, we can like nerf that and make it be like, you don't get $11, you get $6 or whatever. Or we can just increase the total amount of stuff he needs. Okay, good. Yeah. So we can adjust that. That's pretty easy to do. Okay. So ingredients that we have right now, we have, berries and we have cream, and our recipe that we have in our game right now is berries and cream. What we need is more ingredients. So some ingredients that Rango drew. Let me look at what we have assets for, because that's probably a good place to start. I was asking because quick changes to that seems useful. I agree. I think that'll help balance, like basically balance the game a lot. We can have this. What do you think about using the guacamole cactus as a cooking ingredient? Do we want to do that? Let's just say guacamole is an ingredient. We can have like a cheese should be an ingredient. Okay, I think this is. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do this. Okay, some foods that we know we want to. We have cactus guacamole. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can definitely use that as ingredient. And the cheese, yep. And you want this bird? Do you want the bird to be, or the fish, the bird gentleman to be like an ingredient? I like the idea of talking to an NPC and then he's like, okay, I'm an ingredient now. Okay, you can use me now. It's a little tricky. Oh, can we do that? How long will it take us to make that a mechanic? Because I think that idea is really funny. That we like do a quest for him and he's like, okay, now you can cook me alive. That's fine. The bird is an ingredient. We can definitely make him give us ingredients. What if he gave us like his child? Is that too effed up? He's like, okay, here, you can cook with my son. And we take his little son. And that way we could keep lighting his cigar for him. Or like keep bringing him cigars or something and he'll keep giving us sons. Like a little trading quest. My idea was making these people as meaty ingredients. I think that's a good idea. I think that is really funny to be like, now you can pick me up, now I'm an ingredient. Can we can do this. We'll have to code it in real quick, but I think that is something we could do. Let's put him in. We're going to say bird. We're going to say bird is an ingredient. We also will say, if we need more, we can just add a bunch of bird people. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so you can use him in a bunch of different places. I really like the idea of talking to an NPC who, when you help them out, they're like, now I'm ready for you to cook me alive. This is perfect. And we can definitely make him take something from us. So what we need him to be able to do is take something from us and then become an item. So something that was not an item needs to become an item. Should I make a fish man as well? We could use a fish man, yeah. I like that a lot. Let's do that. Let's actually code that. I said we were going to make one thing at a time. We're going to make these recipes, then we're going to code. Okay, so what's a good recipe with a bird? Let's do fried bird is going to be one. So we need some kind of oil for fried bird, right? And we're going to need, what else? Can we have fried bird? Let's have potatoes. Do you make... My idea of some ingredient used for his quest, alternatively good? Yes. Yeah, so I like the idea of... Oh, pigeon pie is awesome. Yes. And so we can make pastry... I don't know how to spell pigeon, but... Okay, you have the right spelling. Good. I can just steal that from you. Yes. I think that the idea of some ingredients are... quest items is great. So if we go to him and he's like, oh, you need to bring me... like, we bring like a candle or something to him and use it to light his cigar. And then he's like, nice, now I can be an item. I think that's hilarious. Okay, so let's put in, oh boy. So we're also going to put in as a thing after we list recipes, we're going to real quick, dialogue can turn someone into an item. We can technically do this, I think. Can we do this? When the dialogue ends, do we know who's speaking? Otherwise, we might have to do the thing where he gives you his son. Let me see. Let me try to just estimate how big a job this will be. So when we're doing this, can I tell who I'm talking to? No, but we could add it. We could pretty easily add that link. Let's make him a sparrow, or we can call it Gentlebird's Pie, and all the Gentlebirds love Gentlebird's Pie because it's classy. I'm on board. Yeah, so we'll call him not a bird, but a gentle bird. And so I think it would be funny if like you meet the Gentlebird, and then you find like the recipe for Gentlebird Pie, and it's like, what the hell? I'm going to have to cook this bird? This NPC? Okay, so fried gentle bird is gentle bird. Okay, so let's also start writing out what these recipes are going to be. Berries, cream is berries and cream. That's easy. We've already got that one. Fried gentle bird is going to be bird and oil. Gentle bird pie is going to be bird, pastry, and what else goes on gentle bird pie? Like a scoop of ice cream? What is a pie made of? What is pie made of? Maybe we can put cream on it too. Because you put cream in the pie maybe as well. We could delete him after quest and use an item with the same asset. Wheat. Oh man, I think you're right. Yeah, maybe we should go to the level of wheat. Or do we make pastry dough from like wheat and sugar? So what if pastry is like an in-between item? So you go like pastry is wheat and sugar. And we've got to get sugar from somewhere. Wheat is an item we need. Sugar is potentially an item. And then we could also make like a berry pie. Wheat, cream, and gentle bird. We've got, we'll make pastry dough from the wheat and the sugar. And so you'll have bird, pastry, and cream. A gentle bird, pastry, and cream. And so you'll have to do 2 steps to make the gentle bird pie, but it's going to be like really good. Berry pie will be less good. It will be berry, pastry, cream. So in this way, you can have a recipe that has 4 ingredients, but some of them have to be combined first, basically. So what else can we make with these ingredients? We have guacamole, so let's make a burrito. Burrito we're just going to make from wheat. Oh no, I guess you make it from a tortilla, right? You could have a flour tortilla. Wheat. We'll have a gentle bird burrito. Gentle bird burrito. Wheat, bird, and cheese. No, wheat, bird, and guacamole. Oh no. Dough instead of pastry? Yep, you're right. Good call. Dough, cream. I'm on board. So we make dough from... Okay, so our gentle bird burrito. Can we just have... yeah, that's fine. Oh man, how do we make this not all be made of gentle birds? Let's say that the gentle bird doesn't go in a burrito. We need like a beef burrito or something. Or we just put wheat, cheese, and guacamole. Is going to be not a burrito, but it's going to be a quesadilla. Okay? So a quesadilla is going to be dough, cheese, guacamole. Bam. One of our basic recipes we start with should be dough. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's get dough and berries. Dough and then maybe berries and cream. And those will be like the ones we start with like a few pages maybe in like the first couple of rooms. But you're right. Yeah, dough could be in a lot of stuff. But it means we need a lot of wheat. So we'll have like fields of wheat somewhere. So let's put field of wheat. Start putting where we get these items from. Berries are coming from berry bushes. Cream is coming from the creamery. Guacamole is coming from the desert. And so is cheese. Gentle bird, we don't know yet. A fish, we don't know yet. Oil. Can the oil be coming from... Where's somewhere funny that you could get oil from? Like a... I mean, we could do like an oil field in the desert, like an oil well. Yeah, but I say keep recipes we find scarce. Okay. Yeah, I think they should be like collectible objects in the world. Yeah, as well. Or maybe, I guess, to what degree is the fun like trying to guess recipes? Like, should we tell you how to make gentle bird pie and then you maybe guess that you could make berry pie? So you're like, oh, I can make gentle bird pie from bird dough and cream. I wonder if I could make another kind of pie. Berry dough and with berries, maybe. I don't know. Let's put an oil well in the desert where we get oil from. Let's do also, we've got sugar we need to get from somewhere. Where's the sugar from? We don't know. Okay, some other recipes. What can we make with the stuff that we have here? Fish taco is going to be dough, cheese, fish. Sorry, dough, cheese, fish? Yeah. Gentle bird pie has to be something we need to experiment to find. We can call it creamy gentle pie to let players guess. Is it enough if we just like have other pies that are also dough, like a couple of other pies that are dough plus cream plus something else? What if we also had, where's the sugar gonna come from? Sugar, I guess, comes from cane sugar. Maybe there's like some bees who give us sugar from their honey. Yeah, okay. Bees? Question mark? Creamy pies. Yeah. 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 Nothing more needs to be said about that. Okay, so we've got some items here that we can get. The gentle bird is going to be used in just a couple of recipes because there's not going to be, he's just going to be like a one of a kind. Same with our fish probably, but what's another? We could do fish and chips. So then we need potatoes and oil, right? Potato. So fish and chips is going to be one as well, and so that would be oil, fish, potato. What if instead of recipes for specific stuff, we learn basic outlines for types like creamy pies? Yeah, that's a good question. Should we teach them you by example where like you see, oh, there's this, I can make this kind of pie and this kind of pie. I wonder if I can make a third kind of pie. Or should we instead be like, hey, this is the recipe for a pie. A pie can be made with dough plus cream plus another ingredient. I think we could go either way. I'd be down for either one. So the fish we need to get. Do we cook potatoes into chips? Let's not have that be an intermediate. Yeah, you're right. It should be that. Yep, fish and chips should be fish and chips are oil and potato. Chips will be oil and potato. Can we do like I think hold off mostly on teaching recipes. All right, I'm worried that our game could become too like obtuse, where like people don't know like any recipes to make. But maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe we encourage you to be, because we just let you go bring it back anything that you want right now. So maybe it's fine. You'll just have a big stack of ingredients in your kitchen, and you'll just be trying a bunch of different combinations to see what you can get. That reminds me, we need to, in our dialogue, when we're cooking something, we need to show how much it's going to be worth, so that people can compare without having to make the item, since items are kind of scarce. Okay, so oil and potato is going to be chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many recipes do we want to support? What if we had like 20 recipes to start, and we did all of them, and then we could expand the world more to do more recipes from there? I think 20 is going to keep us super busy. And maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 ingredients, something like that. Let's have a cookbook that saves our recipes made and tells us basics, like you can cook some stuff to more refined stuff, like wheat to dough. That's a good idea. I don't think we have time for it, though. That would be a thing that would make this game objectively better. But I think, well, players will find some recipes for sure. I hope so. I mean, you have to be pretty deliberate with the stuff that you bring to the cooker. But yeah, probably. Let's save a cookbook that's... Actually, maybe we can do the cookbook, because we might be able to do that all in Ink. Ink keeps track of which things you've seen, and so we might be able to do it in Ink that it lists out all the recipes that you know. If we do that, we need to have multiple lines displayed together, or just have it, yeah, or something. But maybe. Let's do, as a nice to have, let's do cookbook. Because it would be better if I don't have to remember all the recipes, obviously. Okay, so we also need... Okay, so we've got the oil well is going to be in the desert. So is the guacamole cactus. So is the cheese. Guacamole... Okay, so are there any of these things that are only used for one recipe right now? Like sugar. Let's do... We can have, using the cookbook, work like an NPC in Ink. Yeah, the question is, how do we... Yeah, good idea. Nice to have. Yeah. We'll want to be able to display multiple lines. Otherwise, they all have to be kind of in one line of text, which we can do, but it would look weird, I think. Unless multiple lines, I think, is a prerequisite for that. but it's a nice to have, definitely. Okay, let's do sugar plus potato is a sweet potato. Okay, it's gonna be sugar and potato, and then sweet potato fries is gonna be sweet potato. I know this isn't how you make a sweet potato. Sweet potato and oil. Let's see. What else can we make just with these ingredients that we have here? We're not using sugar for very much still. If we do... What else could we use a fish for? We could do... what are some other... We have fish taco and fish and chips. Okay, what are we not using enough? Potato... How do you make mashed potatoes? Do you make... I love the sugar plus potato for sweet potato. Nice. Mashed potato recipe. I didn't think we'd be searching actual recipes for mashed potatoes on this stream. Is it just butter and potatoes? Is a perfect recipe. Sweet and delicious. Butter and milk. Can we... Cream is basically creamy fish pie as well. A fish pie. All right, I'm on board. So we need lots of the ingredients for dough and pie in the world. But we can do that. Cake pillar plus fish for fish cake? Oh my god. Can we make it so you can steal just one of the cake pillars? Maybe. We'll put... Can we make it so you bring him a cake and he like hates you? He's like, I can't eat this. This is my own flesh and blood. What would a cake be? Wheat, cream. Wheat, we'll say cake is wheat, cream, sugar. Or do we want to be like a cake? You pick up one of his cake pillars. I like the idea that some things you can secretly pick up. Like that. His fish taco is fish. His fish pie is fish. Dough. Oh, I guess dough. How did we make dough again? Dough is wheat and sugar. So a cake could be dough, cream, and even more sugar. Double sugar in cake. Dough, cream, sugar. That seems close enough. We'll make mashed potatoes. Are going to be made out of, maybe this is not correct cooking, but it's going to be made out of potatoes and cream. We can steal both maybe, or make our own cakes and they turn into cake pillars or little cake king clones. I like the idea that you make the cake and it looks like the cake king. It's pretty funny. You bring it to him and he's like, either going either direction I think would be funny. Either he's like, I can't eat this, or he's like, this is amazing. This is so perfect and beautiful. Potatoes, cream. Is dough just wheat? Dough is wheat and sugar right now, but maybe it should just be wheat. That probably makes more sense. So you just put wheat in the cooker and you get dough. Do we need, like... The notepad is suggesting that I put a hyphen in Gentlebird. Thank you for that, notepad. Potatoes, cream. Yeah, we don't need... I guess when it was pastry dough, we had sugar in it. It's fine. And then if you cook dough again, should we just get bread? So if you take wheat and turn it into dough and then turn the dough into bread, you can just use one ingredient to get something. We're starting to have cannibalism as a theme. It's good. It's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the thing is, like, the harder thing is going to be putting more items in the world. And the easier thing is going to be, I mean, relatively speaking, making recipes from those items. Is it too far to cook a human and feed him to a cake? I mean, we don't have any humans in our world right now. We have our little square chef guy, so it wouldn't be too crazy. But maybe we'll delay that. I think that's something that could turn people off of the game. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where does sugar come from? Sugar comes from sugar canes. Okay, that's where you get the sugar from. You pick up the sugar there's sugar canes in the world, and I think we should make the system a bit obtuse because it really adds depth. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I like the idea of not telling people every recipe. I think it's going to be hard to strike the right balance, but that's something we could probably sort of dial in by adding or removing recipes from the world. Um, okay, so the gentle bird, we have to do the bird quest. He lives somewhere. Sugar flies? Sugar flies. I don't know what that is. Is that a real? I will make him like little sugar flies. All right, I'm on board. The sugar flies are the source of sugar. So maybe sugar flies get processed into sugar. Sugar flies go make sugar. And then we'll also have sugar fly fries, which is sugar flies plus potatoes. That's a secret one. I think even if you're bad and you get your hands on the basic recipes, you can get your hands on the basic recipes. Oh, yeah, I see. I got you. Even if you're bad, you get your hands on the basic recipes like berries and cream. Agreed. Sugar flies plus potatoes is obviously going to be sugar fly fries. Okay, so where do we get... So the sugar flies, maybe they have some kind of a quest, or maybe we find them in like a swampy area. Fish we could also find in like a swamp area. Maybe you go find a fishing pole somewhere. So let's put fishing pole. Okay, we'll just go items. Not real, just funny idea for them. No, we just use them straight up as sugar. Oh, I think we could. All right, we'll see. We could do either one. It's definitely more... It's easier if we don't have to do this extra step of processing them into sugar. That's just easier to play and less like friction. But I think it's harder to get your head around that like sugar flies are the same as sugar by themselves. But maybe it's fine. With how much we use sugar flies, they have to be common. Okay. Yeah, so we'll put a bunch of sugar flies. So we need maybe a fishing pole that we find somewhere to get the fish. And so the fishing hole, the little pond is an item or is like a world feature. Okay, so we're getting into this. Okay. So the fish is also going to be in our swamp area. So let's go areas that we can make. Areas. We can make right now we just have the creamery. That's literally it. We could make a swamp. We could make a desert. An item, we could bring a fishing pole to a thing in the desert. Let's consider let's say like an NPC is like the gentle bird. And we also have the cake king already. Wishing pole. And fishing pole for flies. Fishing pole for fish. So you find the fishing pole like leaning up against somewhere, and we take it to the pond. So the pond is going to be like an NPC basically, and if you have the fishing pole, you can fish for fish at the pond. And get a fish from the pond maybe. And maybe we'll say your fishing pole breaks or something, so you can just do it once. I can just grab the flies, maybe easier with bait or something. Yeah, definitely just grab the flies. I think the flies will just be like flying around in the swamp, and there'll be like a bunch of them. And we grab them and we say, these are sugar flies. Maybe in the swamp, there's also a really obvious recipe page that says sugar flies are sugar or can be turned into sugar or something. Fish people as well, or frog people. Let's keep it simple for the fish people as well. I'm thinking about writing all this dialogue and stuff. Let's try to get just this much in. Could go offline anytime, by the way. Okay, no worries. Swamp, desert. Let's try to do this much. I think right now. So right now we are going to make berries, cream, guacamole, cheese, gentle bird, fish, oil, wheat, sugar, potato. So we're going to make a little swamp area and a little desert area and add them to the world. We're also going to make some items. We're going to make some recipe pages maybe. And we want to have this gentle bird NPC. Oh, he needs something to light his little cigar with, right? So maybe we can have like a fiery pepper. And if you have the fiery pepper, if you bring it to him, then he's like, oh, you can light my cigar with this. Or we can use the fiery pepper to make some kind of food. So what will we use the fiery pepper for? Maybe like a extra spicy quesadilla. And we add it to a quesadilla and a pepper. We could make we can make a pepper popper. I will make some sugar flies. You want just one small sprite? Can it be like a little swarm of sugar flies, or like a little group of them? Pepper popper is going to be oil, pepper, and cheese. Okay, this is going to be plenty of work to get just this much stuff in. I think. And again, we're going to make the boring world, so we're not going to fill it out. We're not going to put like nice backgrounds or items or stuff. We don't just need cigars. I suggested other quest ideas as well, like shade or something. Oh, let me see what you wrote. I want more, not having so specific quests, but more any items that make sense. Fiery pepper. Another idea is that we have a bunch of the gentle birds with different needs. We adapt around the items we have, like bringing a broccoli tree or something for one who wants shade. Let's do just the cigar first. I think is going to be our start. But maybe we can put some other gentle birds who will want other things. But for the start, let's just put one gentle bird who wants you to bring him a fiery pepper and use it to light his cigar. This is going to be plenty to keep us busy right now. If we can get through all of this morning, that would be amazing. We got a bunch of recipes. Again, hopefully recipes will be easy-ish to add. I guess, but they will be a still image, so swarm will look weird. That's fine. I think that we can live with that. Unless the flies are like, because otherwise the fly is going to have to be like really big, right? I think at this point, we got to go back to our ground rule number 1. If it looks bad, that's fine. So we can go either direction. In terms of either having a really big fly. If we get other items, hot items, let's allow them as alternative solutions. Okay, yeah, I'm on board for that. We can definitely, that's very doable through what we have. Okay, so list recipes. Dialogue can turn someone into an item. Let's write this code right now. So a dialogue can turn somebody into an item, and then we can start to do this stuff. And we'll do a little practice example with King Cake. Yeah, we gotta start really. We gotta start like being very stubborn about adding more scope. But I think that this is a reasonable last thing for us to do. So when we talk to somebody, the first thing we need to do is add some kind of an indicator. Do we have names players can see for items? We have an item can have a dialogue tree. So I think that's the idea, is that you'll like talk to the item and it'll bring up a little dialogue that's just like we did it for the berries, that just is like, this is a handful of berries or whatever. And so that's how we convey what the item is in text. So that way we can have something that's a little bit unusual, like a sugar fly, because somebody can look at it and say, oh, this is a sugar fly. We can write that to them. But we don't have like a label over them, I guess. Okay, so in our scene, in our current knot, we also need, in this story stuff, I can't believe how long this file is. If we had time, we should split up this big file. Okay, so our story stuff we have, I feel like something like sugar flies may be hard to get. Agreed, yeah. So hopefully somebody will look at them and then we'll be able to say like, oh, these are sugar flies or whatever. We'll be able to just tell them that. We'll see. Or maybe it'll be really weird and people will be like, what? What? Okay, so let's go private character. We're going to have a pointer to the character who talks to us during a story. So we'll say, what do we want to say? Speaker, we'll call him. Is that too obtuse? We'll call it current speaker. Or speaker character. Let's do that. That's a fine name. Speaker character, good enough. Is optionally a character. So, when we start a story, we need, where is, I guess somewhere with space. When we enter dialogue, in addition to our current not, we also need to do speaker character equals screenchild dot character. So now when we start a conversation with somebody, we'll make a note of which character we're talking to. That's going to be important because we don't have that information otherwise when we're processing the text that we get from what's it called? Ink. So let's say become an item. If tag dot starts with itemize, we'll just call it. So if we put this little hashtag itemize after after a line of dialogue, it will cause the speaker to become an item. So we'll say that actually should probably be, I think that'll be easy enough if we say player. Okay, so we can say speaker character dot is item. Oh, do we not have a good way to get at this data right now? We'll say we'll add a new method called set is item, and we'll set that to true. And now we got to write this method. So we'll say get is item. Oh, what is it called? Is item is the name of the function right now. So we'll just write a setter method called set is item. This is going to return void, so it's not returning anything back. We will say a bool is item, and we will just one line of code here that says it is item equals is item. Coding. Bam. So now we can make it so a line of dialogue will turn somebody into an item. Let's try it real quick. We're just going to see if we can turn King Cake into an item. I think that this is quick. So we'll add to this line of dialogue right here. If you say, no, I'm King Cake says you're an imposter, and then he will become itemized. And so we should not be able to pick him up, and then after he calls us an imposter, we should be able to pick him up. And I think that will just work. But we'll find out. Let's see. Our game is really weird, the way that it like we remember every character in the game, but we only show like some of them on screen at any given time. It's kind of weird. We're still like keeping, like we can make changes to a character and go walk away and come back, and those are persisted just because we're keeping track of literally everyone. Okay, so we try to pick up King Cake. It can't be done. We talk to him. He says, you owe me $100. I say, no, I'm King Cake. He says, imposter. Now, stop. I can pick him up. Bam. It works. Okay, we can have characters become items. That was pretty quick to do. Good. That's done. And hilarious. We will not build the opposite option, which is to stop being an item, but if we have a need to do it, it will be quick to add to. I can't believe it. I can't believe that kind of works. Pretty dope. Oh, that was quick. Good. So now we've done that. Okay, so let's look at our little to-do list, because we gotta keep sort of organized. So list recipes, we're done. Dialogue can turn somebody into an item, we're done. Time to stitch together, boring world. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, let's add another. Oh boy, what do we want to do? So we can add another area, or we can what else can we do besides adding another area? We could make a recipe page. And that could be, let's do that first. So let's put a recipe page in the kitchen that's going to be like just for berries and cream. And that's your first recipe. That's the one that starts you out. And so we'll draw that real quick right now. Okay, so we know the rules. We've got to draw this at 32 by 32 and then double the size to try to make it not look too blurry. 32 by 32. Here comes our recipe page book. And unfortunately, we made the mistake of going, can I make this the default always? Is there like a preferences file? Preferences. Can I do a default palette? color management, working RGB space. That would make this so much easier if we could just, I mean, it would, I mean, not so much easier, but just less of a pain. If we could always have like a default palette set in Aseprite, it would just save us a step every single time we were making a new thing. Let's see. You know what we should do is just Google this. Aseprite, set default palette. And they're going to say, you can't do that. Docs, default palette. New sprites are created with a default palette. Anyway, we can change its default using the save as default palette option. What? Why is it there? That's fine. We'll take it. It is done. So then we can skip that step every time. Cool. We need a page of a recipe book. So, and this sprite we can use over and over, but we have to write different text every time. So here's our page. Let's make it a little bit of a curvy page. Great. That doesn't look quite right. Neither does that. Let's bring this in a little bit. I got it. Bam. Bam. This is not the thing that I need to be spending time on right now, but here I am doing it. And let's say there'll be little holes in the side here to show that it was like ripped out of a spiral bound notebook. And then we also need some text. Bam. And then we just need to fill that in. Bam. Stop. Bam. This is a page of a recipe book. Doesn't it look like a page of a recipe book? Everybody agrees it looks fantastic. Great. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. This is not what I need to be spending time on. But a recipe book would have a picture of the food, right? That you're cooking. So let's actually make that be like up in the corner. Like there's a little picture of like, I'm making a mistake by doing this, but there'll be like a little square up there, and it'll have like a little picture of a recipe in it. So it'll have like the berries and cream. Does that look way worse? It does. Back to the way it was. Or we could just draw the square up there. Kind of looked okay by itself, but not filled in. Little fixes needed. Bam. Again, all of this art is basically a placeholder across the board. Bam. There's a page of our recipe book. That's what it looks like. Needs to be doubled size. Sprite. Sprite size. We got to fly through these. 200. 200. Grow by nearest neighbor. Yes. Good. And we'll say page 0 is the name of this page. And we save it file. Save as page0.png. Bam. Cool. And so now we can add a character to the world that is going to be a recipe. Yeah, multiple lines of text. I think we just got to do it now. Can we... How can we make there be multiple lines of text without making it a whole production here? Because we need it. If we're going to draw a recipe has to be written over multiple lines, right? I feel. Okay, so we can do this. So when we read the story, process story tags, bam, 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 we'll say current choices.count, do. So what if we were to do if story.continue and not story waiting, clear canvas, string story text equals story.text.trim. I think we can do this in a weird way. Follow me on this. So in our story stuff, we're going to write private bool last frame last line had choices equals false. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to track if the previous line didn't have any choices, then we're going to append our current text onto that line. So we'll say let's see. Rango, I just got your message. Oh, they're animated. We can't do an animated GIF though. Can you send me just one of the frames? Let's see. Hold up. So some items. So on story time, we need to record. The first thing we need to do is make sure that is going to be right. So we'll say story is waiting is true if the count is 1. What does story waiting do? Oh boy, we're already forgetting what things do. If story.currentChoice.count equals 1, then story waiting equals true. What do I do with story waiting? Story waiting equals false. If can continue and not story waiting. Story waiting equals true. Why did I write this? Oh, because the story, it didn't wait. When there was only one choice, it was just auto-choosing it for us. I remember. Okay, cool. And we'll say, so if we were really smart, what we would have done is just keep track of the number of choices the previous thing had. But it's fine. We'll do this over two booleans. We just got to be quick about this. So we'll say, shoot, what was that called? Last line had choices. Last line had choices equals. Actually, we could just do this in one line, right? We'll say last line has choices equals. Choices equals story.currentChoices.count equals doesn't equal 0. And we can do this every time we go through. Great. So we'll go. Let's do just put a little comment here. So the last line. So what we can do is, when we're updating the story text, we can say, we've got the string. That's the next text from the story. Where do I render that? Story text field equals instantiate text prefab as text. Oh, but I'm clearing this out every time, right? Ooh, how am I going to do this? We're going to go string, previous. Shoot. Oh, this is dumb. This is dumb the way we're doing it. It's fine. It'll work. We don't have time for smart solutions at this point. We just got to throw together dumb stuff and hope that we don't do so much of it that it ends up creating a catastrophe. What a fun, cool time to be alive. I will say private string current story text is an empty string to start. And so what we'll do is we'll say if so if last last line, last frame, what did we call it? Shoot. Last line had choices. So if last line had choices, then the story text is totally fresh and totally new, right? And we can clear out, we can say current story text. Oh, we can do that probably either way, right? Oh boy. How are we going to do this? We say current story text equals story text equals this. Current story text equals story.continue.trim. Otherwise, we need to, so this is creating a new, totally new text field. Otherwise, we need to append to our current story. So we'll say current story text plus equals, oh boy, /n. So a new line, I hope that works, plus dot continue dot trim. If last line had choice, else do this. Will this work? I do not know. If last line had choice. And then we need to change this story text to use current story text. Okay, let's see if that works. And we need to put a line with some dialogue in with multiple lines. I'm King Cake, you owe me $100. And we'll say, this is a second line. Yeah, we need this. Oh, it's a pain, but we need it. Let's see if that works. Compiler errors? You said there were no compiler errors. You lied to me. What's wrong? Missing no surprise. 454, we're missing a semicolon. There you go. Oh, the Ink files compiled successfully, but the C++ didn't. Okay, 388. What do you hate about line 388? If last line had choices. Come on. Will it work? Will it break everything? There's a real, if it does break everything, it's easy to just give up and put it back, but we'll have some cruft in the code. This is the second line. It kind of works. Does the rest of the dialogue still work? Your Majesty. King Cake nods curtly. Oh, actually. Imposter. Ooh, this continued we don't want though. So the way that we can fix this is we can say, you shouldn't read this ever. Yeah, that probably doesn't want to show up. We need to say when you start a dialogue, clear out that thing. Clear out that current story text. Or maybe when we leave a dialogue. Let's do it when we enter a dialogue. That feels safer. Current story text equals empty string. Does that fix our problem? You need a semicolon. Does that fix our problem? Let's see what we got. We're spending too much time on this. We need it though. We need multiple lines. And also maybe we need to make it so when you click a choice button, it's also going to clear out that story text. I'm King Cake, you owe me $100. No, I'm King Cake. Imposter. I'm King Cake, you owe me $100. Your Majesty. King Cake, no, it's curtly. So these continue buttons aren't showing up anymore, which is good. But it is showing us the line of dialogue that we chose, but I think that's fine. Maybe. It would be better if it didn't, right? So let's do it like this. Maybe it's fine. It's fine. We'll leave it for now. We'll go put that as a polish item because it works fine, but it could be better. So instead of multiple lines displayed together, our new polish item is don't show button prompt as dialogue. Great. We're taking it. We're doing it. We're living with it. We're making it work. All of these things will surely be a great success. Smokes. Holy smokes. Let's do it like this. So we need to add our recipe book to the world, right? That's what we said. So let's put that bad boy right in the kitchen. Let's put it in the first room that you start in. So we need to go here. This is why we need to split out these files, is because like finding, it would be nice if this part that's describing each scene was just in its own file. Okay, so this is going to have a new character. It's not going to be a cake statue, but it is going to be a... Let's try to put, like, generally speaking, our characters first. So we'll say this is going to be a new character. Please, not like this. It's going to be a recipe. What do we call it? Recipe page? Recipe? We got to see... it may be an Azoprite. It is a page. That's it. Perfect. That's a better name anyway. So it's a page. It doesn't collide, but it is an item. So we'll say is item is true. And the tag is berries and cream recipe. Okay? So this can't have a comma. So if this will put a page in the world, it's going to be right on top of something else right now. So let's put this like opposite king cake basically. So it'll be, the X will be at like negative 4.3. I don't know. All of these things we can dial in if we have to. And the Y will be at like 3.0. Let's see if that works. The only thing that we need to do is we need to add the berries and cream recipe to ink. So, berries, crossroad sign. Okay, so let's put recipes last. Berries and cream recipe. Or maybe we should do them by item. I don't know. We'll get this organized in a second. So we'll say this will have berries and cream. And it will have one berry, one cream. Great. And also, let's do our crossroads sign. Let's try to make this multiple lines right now, too, while we're thinking of it. South, King Cake's cool castle. West, something else. Okay, so let's make sure both of those things work. The berries and cream recipe should appear. It should be an item. We should be able to read the recipe, and we should be able to go to the crossroads sign. It should have multiple lines. King Cake, you don't need a second line. King Cake's dialogue is technically sufficient at the moment. Unity, hit me with my compiler errors. What do we got to fix? Where did I forget a semicolon? Show me. Whoa, 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 all these NPEs. Object reference is not set to an instance of object, topscript.storytime, assets topscript 390. I know where that is. It's going to be mad about this. What did we actually call this page? Something different? Page 0. There it is. What's the problem? Page. Berries and cream recipe. Is item true? Okay, so what is it yelling about specifically? 390. Continue and not story is waiting. What has happened here? If we run this now, are we getting this? Tag berries and cream recipe is not defined. Yes, that's the problem. Okay, okay. So whenever we add a new tag, we shouldn't have used the tags. But it's fine. So the tags tell us which recipe to use. It's kind of nice because, I don't know, we get like a lot of confirmation that we're doing something real. Like we're not making typos and stuff. But the problem is right now we have to write the tag here. We have to add it to Unity and add the thing in the ink script. And this middle step feels unnecessary. Let's see it. Bam, here's the world. We've got the berries and cream recipe. You look at it, it says berries and cream. Berries, cream. You need a way to get out of that dialogue. Yep. Good point. Let's go continue to holding from there. Is going to be needed in all of these. But the good news is the multi-line text is working. We got that to kind of work. And let's just put a little slash. So there'll be little dashes there, hopefully, too, which will make it look a little bit more like a recipe. All right, here's our guy. We look at this. Berries and cream. 1 berries, 1 cream. Bam. And we could take this into our room if we wanted to start keeping like a little recipe book. We could put that down there. Let's go get the berries and cream, by which I mean I just want to make sure that the sign looks good. Mingus Farms Creamery, east, south, west. Great. Cool. Great. What we need now is... we shouldn't... is it a bad idea to try to get rid of those game tags? The thing is, we don't need them really anymore. So when we collide with somebody, we use the tag before because we want it to be on the game object. But the truth is we could put that on the character and have, instead of tag, let's do it real quick. It's going to be worth it. It's going to save us a bunch of little steps. So instead of, it's going to just save us time in the UI. I think it will actually be worth it in the long run here. So when we enter dialog, we get the GameObject.tag. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the screenChild child.character we'll say not. And that's going to be a little bit clearer too. And so we need screenChild. We should have done this from the beginning. Dot character dot not doesn't equal will go null. And screenChild.screen does not equal null. Cool. So now we need to put this not on everything. So let's go dot tag. Unfortunately, there's 2 things called tags. So we'll say, instead of add tag, we'll call this add a not. We'll say if the not that's being, if our not is not null, then we don't need to do that. We don't need to add the tag to the game object anymore. When we add to scene, we don't need that code at all. But what we do need, instead of a string tag equals null, we need a string not. We're going to call this a not. This is going to be called a not. Some people will say it is not worth renaming these things right now. But I just think it's also nice to not have 2 different things called tag. So let's look at everywhere that we have this tag. So instead of our tag, we have to change this to... Actually, I think that this will basically work. Let's go just automatically. Tag, change to not. Change that one, change that one, change that one, change that one. And then, is there anything else we need to make that work? Tags, these are all tags from the story. Those are good. Those are supposed to be tags. Okay. And so I think this will save us from, we no longer will have to add things in here. TypeScript is not condition for not. That's fair. Had no extension, blah, 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 blah. Ooh. That is because it's not a, yes. Okay, so look for not up in our character definition. So the problem is this is a private, field. So we'll say public, really quick, public string, get not. We don't want people to change the not after we make our guy. So go not, and then where we go dot not, we will change this to dot get not. get not. Bam. Does that fix it? Ooh, lots of quick fixes going in, but which makes me nervous. The more quick fixes and the more this becomes one big, huge file, the more we put ourselves at risk of breaking everything. TBH. 1 berries, 1 cream. Okay, we got it though. So, why did I do that? Because I didn't want to have to add game tags every time. And so now we don't have to do that. So we could actually get rid of all of these. In fact, we won't bother. We'll just leave them there, but we don't need them anymore. If we find something else that we really need to use game tags for, we have the option to do that now. Cool. It's just, yeah, I don't want to have to enumerate them all in the UI if they're also being created in Ink. It just feels like an extra step. So there's our recipe. That's the beginning. Holy smokes. So what else do we need? Let's start making little areas. We need our desert area. Is that what we want to do next? What's going to get us more recipes? Sugar, potato. We don't know where the potatoes live. Maybe there's like a farm behind the creamery that has the potatoes. So if you go up like north of the farm, there's like a potato field. Sugarfly sent. Yeah, second half of animation got a little wacky. Oh, perfect. Oh, these guys are great. We'll load in both cheese desert. You want to do the cheese desert? That'll open up a bunch of things for us to do. Okay, so we got to draw that background first thing. We did a little bit more code stuff. Honestly, more than I intended to do. So let's go new. We know it's 288 by 176. That's one of our rules. RGB, great. We have the default color scheme set. So let's draw this cheese desert first thing. I will make cheese tile. Don't worry about cheese tile. We're just gonna do these rough backgrounds. Honestly, I don't think we have time to be stitching together all of these things. Does that look like sand? Kind of. We gotta zip through these. This is our background. It will have to do. This is the cheese desert, but it doesn't start from the cheese desert. No, because we need to start from the crossroads. I've done this wrong already. Okay, never mind then. I was thinking like a cheese trail, like the Grand Canyon rock tiles. We could do we could do something cool like that. Let's see. So if this is, shoot. Why is it so big? Why is it so big? We need this to be the same size just so we can match up where the road is supposed to be. It's because it's twice as big. That actually does make perfect sense. But that's approximate. That's close enough. Right? We're not gonna leave that in. We're gonna redraw on top of that, but we just want the transition from the road to the desert. So we go like this. Like the cheese makes a squiggly line. Ooh, I got you. So like wrapping up in the desert. We could have a little we could have like a little Lost Woods puzzle in the desert. That's kind of a trope, and we could technically support it. But our engine will let us do it. Not every, we can make it so that if you turn one way, it doesn't necessarily bring you back. Like if you go through a one direction and then go back the opposite way, it doesn't necessarily take you back to the same place. That's what I'm trying to say. Good God, we technically support this. Here's this. Let's have our road come to an end as well in here, and it'll be like the road is ending. Here it is. It needs little squares, so we know that it's the end of the road. Oh boy. And then we can have like smaller. I think more floor like the trail of sand and rocks look of canyon and stony deserts. Okay. How can we? What do we need to change to make that a reality? What in your mind would make it look more like that? Just so I have like a more idea of what we're thinking about. I'll send pic for reference. Okay, that'll work. And then we need like this area to be like the end of the grass and into the sand. Is it something that I can do just with colors, or is it something where we have to like totally redraw this? This is us going into the desert. Great. We need some big... If I go to the crossroads... Let me send this color. Probably don't want that to be like this. Rango, I think we just gotta blaze ahead with this, honestly. Like, I think I mean, it's 11:30. I think we just gotta use whatever we got. All of these backgrounds are gonna look bad, but we just need to get these assets out. So if you've got the reference picture like right now, we can take a look, and if it's something small we can do like with colors, but if it's like we gotta totally redraw it, I just don't think we have time for it. Anything else we can do while we wait? Let's also make what's in the desert. We have the let's load up the guacamole because we've got that asset already. That's something we can do while we're waiting. Open this up in here. Let me see if I can do this without too much doxing. Is this one? Cool. Bam. And all of these assets come in really big, but we can shrink them down to the right size. Sprite size. What do we put them at? 64 by 64. Bam. When we do this, we do bilinear when we're going down, and nearest neighbor when we're going up. Bam. Please look good. Good. There's our guacamole. Cactus thing. Bam. So we can save this. Save this in. It's fine. Here. This will be... Alright, got the message. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, we can do that. Let's make that change. That's doable. I got your Rango. You want the little... We can do like little waves in the sand instead of like the big squares. Let's see if we can make that look more like that. Okay, this is going to be guacamole 0. Bam. And that just has to be that. So we could do like a... Yeah, we can do that. So instead of maybe like this, we put just some like little waves in the sand here. How am I gonna do this? You want like these swirlies? Let's make them all vertical. We don't really super have time for this, but it'll be nice. Yeah, like waves in the sand and different grades of yellow and orange give it a varied cheese look. That I'm gonna have to veto. We'll just do 2 colors. Sorry for these backgrounds. Cool. Fill that in. Yeah. Okay. This is not great, but it is closer to the idea that we wanted. Bam. Something like this. And then the cheese will be yellow. Is this not... do we want this to be more yellow? Or are we okay with it being kind of orange? There's not... We don't have a great palette of yellow colors. I mean, we could just add to the palette, but... what if we went like this? Is that too crazy to look at? Does that hurt everybody's eyes? Or is that okay? Like this? Maybe? I kind of like that okay for the desert. And let's put in... This yellow is better, though. I was wrong. Maybe a little bit more... And I don't want to go... It's possible to do too much here, I think. But like this. This is our desert. This is our going into the desert. Orangey, but one bright and rich like canyon, and one lighter like side for the background colors. Let's see. Let's try. Again, we don't have a huge palette here. So if you wanted to go orange, we could do like these stripes could be like our bright orange. What if it was like this? And we had like the yellow and orange. Otherwise, we could maybe go like a pale orange here. That starts to look kind of weird, though. That looks more like a skin tone almost. This is it. This is what we got. Is this it? This is it. This is, we'll call this Enter Desert 0. And these have... Great. And we can put like some guacamole here. Interesting. What? Deal with it. It's I know it's not perfect, but we just don't have time. Let's see what we've got. Are these showing up in our projects? Make sure to double check the cheese doesn't blend in. I think that it won't because it's just like very yellow. It's like a yellow color that we don't even have in our palette, which is fine. Yeah, the cheese is not going to... I don't think the cheese is going to blend in. I think we're going to be good. But let's also download the cheese right now. Let's add that as well, and we can put some things in this first area. Save image downloads. Bam. And what is this called? This is 84. Okay. So let me pull that into a sprite as well. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to double the size of this. Sprites. Sprite size. Always needs to be doubled because we made a big mistake. Nearest neighbor. Boom. File save as. I'll start on Fiery Pepper. That's further out. That sounds good to me. Cool. Yeah, and we can use that. This is Enter Desert. And then I also wanted to bring in this cheese, so I'm just going to open this over here so it's off camera real quick. This is all coming together. We're doing it. There's a lot to do, but it is kind of all starting. I can see how it could, in theory, come together. Yeah. When does the project due? Technically Monday afternoon. I got to work on Monday, though. So I guess Monday morning, if we like, really this evening. Let's say 10 p.m. tonight is probably when we would want to turn it in. In a pinch, we could do it later than that, but would rather not. Okay. There's our cheese. Bam. Why did the cheese look bad? Because we shrink it with the wrong mode? Yes, we did. That's the problem. When we're shrinking, we need this bilinear whatever. Bam. And that looks okay. Good. Save as. Put this in resources. Well, technically, we don't need it all. Our plans are just content ideas. Yeah. It'd be nice to try to... G0. Have something that's kind of complete for the thing, but like the content's going to take a long time to put in, I fear. We've set ourselves up to move quickly, but there's just a lot to do. So that's at 64 by 64. So now we should have cheese is here. Good. Enter Desert is here. The guacamole is here. So we can start making the desert. Let's make our new scene. We're going to call it Enter Desert. Screen creamery. Screen enter desert equals new screen. Oh boy. It's got a list of characters. The first one is just going to be the background every time. And the background is going to be enter desert. And it's going to be in the background layer. That's perfect. What else do we want to put in our desert right now? Like a... Actually, let's just link that up and make sure... Like, what should be in the first area of the desert? Maybe like a recipe and one piece of cheese to like lure you in. So if we've got the first area of the desert, what's like an easy recipe with cheese that we could teach you, or a recipe with cheese that we could teach you to make? Maybe like pepper popper. We'll write pepper. You need oil, pepper, and cheese. Let's do that. We'll put the pepper popper recipe right up in front. So if we go to Inky, pepper, popper, nope, popper, recipe. Oh, these also need to say how much money they're worth. Sells for, we'll say retail value $11. Great. This is a little bit bad because we'll have to hard code those in various places. Because we're going to have to write those amounts in like, you know, dang, that was delicious. Have $11 minus 11. We will fix that. Oh. Should we just do that right now? Should we just write those as variables because they get used all over the place? That is the right way to do this. We'll do it. Okay. Pepper popper recipe. We'll say pepper poppers. And that will take 1 cheese, 1 oil, and what was the other thing that it needs? Oh, and 1 pepper. 1 fiery pepper. Cool. And then we continue to holding. We say, let's make this first. Let's make this area, and then we'll come back and make these be variables instead of being hard-coded. Cool. And then you have to continue to holding. Great. So now we've got our pepper recipe. We could probably make this a function, but let's not do it. And then we can also write like a little text about the recipes if we get really cute with it. If we want to get cute with it. Okay, so pepper popper recipe is now here, which means we can add a pepper popper recipe to this desert. So we know what the recipe looks like because we have an example of it up here. Somewhere, berries and cream recipe. So we can just put that right in here. Probably we don't want it to be in exactly the same place, but it can be in roughly the same place. We'll put it in like 2.7. And this will not be berries and cream recipe. This will be a pepper popper recipe. Pepper popper recipe. Boom. And it's an item, but it's also something you can read. Good. That way you can move those things around if you wanted to. The other thing that we wanted in this desert is a piece of cheese. Say new, character, and then we want you to be able to go in 4 directions. So maybe we need to draw a picture of like how our areas will connect to each other. We'll see. So this is going to be cheese. And we called it cheese 0, right? We'll double check that. Let's put it at, I don't know, somewhere close by. So we'll put it like at -2 and 1.3. We'll just have to see how this looks. Is item is true. And we will add a not. So a lot of these things which are items, we'll want to add nots to them as well. However, we will delay doing that for now. I think that's going to be the move, is to just write out a whole bunch of descriptions all together, and then go and like we'll go through, we'll see all the items we have, and then we'll write a bunch of descriptions all at once instead of trying to switch back and forth doing different things. So right now we're just going to drop this cheese in the world. Do we want anything else in this first area? Let's see what it looks like. So this is going to be some stuff up in the top. What have you got against this? 1525 invalid expression term. We're not really at. It just means we didn't close this somewhere. This is at 373. Yeah, they don't like that I put that comma there. Is that literally the cause of all this drama? No. 373. What do you got? What do you got against what we've done here? Comma to close. Oh, I'm dumb. This needs to be a parenthesis. Boom. That fixes it. Hopefully. And then at 376, we're also missing something. That would be a semicolon. Okay, and then we need to link these things together. I totally forgot. So crossroads. Say crossroads dot east equals desert, or enter desert. And then we can have enter desert dot west equals crossroads. Bam. Let's see what we got. Let's see what that did for us. Compiling. It's taking longer and longer to compile too. Bit of a problem. All right, here's our guy. We can go pick up this recipe if we want. This is the berries and cream recipe. Retail value $11. Great. Ah, that is hard to look at, isn't it? This page in particular is hard to see against the background that's the same color. Let's take off the outline from the page, and I think that will fix that, kind of. Here's our cheese. It doesn't blend in, but man, it's hard to... It's just a real harsh... It's something about the yellow on the lighter yellow. Looks kind of weird, but maybe it's fine. So if you wanted to get the cheese, you could bring this on back. Bam. You could do it. I think we gotta go back to our rule number 1. If it looks bad, that's fine. But I am gonna take the edges, the outline off of this recipe page, because that just looks really weird. Yeah, so a good thing to do would be to go back here with a more cohesive vision for what this will look like. But we don't have time. So we'll just throw it together. Cool. So let's go to Azaprite and go to our page. Let me just get rid of... That, I think, is bad enough to be like a problem. So we'll just fill all these in. Stop this. Bam. And we'll say file save as, because that's a quick fix as well. A PNG. Yes, overwrite it. Bam, done. Great. Now we need... Boom, we got the hot pepper. There's like a... Oh, I see. So is it supposed to be like on fire? I guess that makes sense. Can we... Rango, just as a little bit of feedback, can we make it so that that third flame doesn't intersect with the stem of the pepper? Because it looks that makes it hard to tell that it's fire. Like, could maybe that third stem be shorter so it doesn't reach up high enough or something? Does that make sense? Because right now it makes it look like something that's like a circle, and it looks like part of the. It's just hard to tell what the shape of the pepper is. I know, but it's too late now. Can't we What if we fix it up in Azaprite? Would that be okay if we made some little modification? Can you edit it? Yeah, let's take a look. Let me just downloads, get this picture. Which one is it? The only thing is these names are not 58. Okay. Here it is. We open it up. So we got to shrink this bad boy down. First thing. Sprite size. 64, 64. It's got to be bilinear. That's good. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is just like if we could just bring this one flame down. Sorry, I don't think I can name them. No, that's no problem. It's the names. Sorry, it's the names that that Discord gives them. Yeah, are just a little bit hard to tell apart. But so I was thinking just if we like bring this down so it just doesn't connect up with this top pepper. So actually, you know what we're gonna have to do is go down to because we have this crazy idea of being 64 by 64, but also sort of 32 by 32. So let's get rid of this, and then we'll do it to 32 by 32, and then we'll edit it, and then we'll be done. Sure, that's good enough. So we go image, sprite size, nearest neighbor, sprite size by linear, 32 by 32, bam. And let's just, yeah, real quick, we can make this a 1 by 1 and get that red color and just make this, I think that's just my little piece of feedback is like, I think that making this a little bit one shorter will make it clear that it's like a pepper with little fires coming off of it instead of like something that's a circle. So if we go like bam, and maybe just have this one be like a short one, like this one is up here. Something like that. I think getting the creamy gentlebird pie is a good idea for a quest to make first. We could probably do that. I also just want to do, sorry, can I just make one more? Does that make it better or worse? It's about the same. I think that's worse, actually. We'll go back to the way you had it. Cool, so here's our pepper. Bam, it's our fiery pepper. We got it. We got to make it bigger again because I'm dumb and shouldn't have ever come up with a scheme that we would like do it 32 by 32 and then double the size. We should have just said 64 by 64, but that's okay. It's too late. It's in the rearview mirror. We got too much to do. So let's save this as, we're going to put this in our assets folder, and we're going to call this pepper 0. I want someone to mention the word creamy gentlebird pie because it's a little obscure for such a rare item. Okay. Yeah, maybe what if we found like a torn recipe page that just has the word creamy gentlebird pie, but it doesn't have the ingredients on it. They've been ripped off. Or do you want somebody to like mention it in dialogue? All right, we've got a pepper. So let's make another area of sand, and we can reuse this sand background to make like a big desert, I think. We got to do, yeah, so here's my idea. Let's actually go to just something we can draw in real quick. Please, not like this. So if we like made, no, new image. I just want something that I can doodle in. This might be overkill for what we're trying to do. Okay, please, create. So my idea is we just take like, so we've got this is what we've got right now. So we've got our starting area, right? Where the king is. And then this connects up to our kitchen, right? And so the kitchen is a dead end. That's fine. We go out to here, and there's the crossroads. The crossroads we know go here, here, and here. Up here, we've got the creamery. The creamery could absolutely go to more areas if we wanted in any direction, but right now it's a dead end. We've got the desert here. All right, so here's our desert. Maybe the gentlebird talks about how nice it tastes offhand, or King Cake is like, if you bring me a creamy gentle pie, I'll be stuffed. Oh, he can like let slip that it's his favorite food. So my idea, here's our like edge of the desert, is that the desert from here like extends in all directions. And so we have like, maybe the desert is like a 3 by 3. and we reuse the same background tile in like a bunch of the places. And maybe the desert also loops. So what if so what if we do that? So what if the desert is like a big 3x3 with the same tile used over and over, which is going to save us a buttload of time, which is what we want right now. And then we also make it so that like when you're wandering in the desert, if you keep going in the same direction, you'll loop around. The only thing is maybe this will have something to keep you from going off. Well, like where should this loop to? I guess would be the question. So what if we actually did it like, don't have this, don't have this. This is the 3x3, and these guys wrap. So if you go this way long enough, you pop out back here again. Can you make King Cake say random dialogue as hints to recipe ideas? Yes, but not yet. We'll do dialogue this afternoon, but this is a good idea. And so we'll have this big. So we'll have to put some walls here maybe to make it clear that you have to. You can't go up in this part of the desert. But then we have this part here, and so we make these 9 areas all look kind of the same. Maybe one of them is like an oasis back here or something. But the rest of it will just be like the same tile, and we'll tell the difference by the items that we have there. So like if there's an item on the ground or a character or something, they'll repeat, but the background will be the same. That's my idea. And we'll put an oasis down here. This will be our oasis. Oasis. And that is my big idea for the desert. It's full of ingredients. That's what we got. So you could wander the desert forever if you don't think to go back, I guess. We'll see how terrible and disorienting that is. I think it'll be fine, but we'll find out. Maybe there'll be like, maybe we could have like little footprints in the sand that tell you that show you a way to get back. So if you get like, I actually like that idea. So if we've got like so we will need slightly different tiles, but they can be really close to each other. So the idea is like, if you keep walking in any direction, you should see footprints that will take you back to the beginning. So like, what if we had like, let's do our red little for our footprints. Okay, signal went out. What was your answer? The answer is yes. We can do that, but we'll write that dialogue this afternoon. So we're not going to do that. The answer is yes, but we'll do that later. Okay, so if you were, so basically to make it so you always hit one, we just have to make sure like there is a footprints in every one of these. The dialogue needs to be last once we have the recipe. Agreed. Yeah. In every row and every column. So like if you start here and we have like footprints that go like this. No, this is not it. Footprints that go like this. So they go up, down, down to here. And so the footprints or the trail or something in the sand, any way that you go, you can find your way back by following the footsteps. Will different screens in the desert puzzle have different foods? That's the idea. Yeah, so you can wander all over the desert and find all kinds of stuff, but we want to make sure that you can always find your way back. So even though some of these tiles won't have any like footprints or whatever on them, you'll be able to, well, I guess most of them will. You'll still be able to, like if you walk in any direction, you'll find them. You'll find the footprints. Okay, so that means we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles, but they're going to be really similar instead of 1. Let's just do it. Let's just do it real fast. If we go to Isprite, let's close out things that we're not working on right now. Okay, gonna make a bunch of desert tiles. We need to get the sugar flies in for sure because they seem like a big ingredient. Yeah, so the next thing we're gonna do is out to the west, we're gonna make like a swamp after we do this desert. So, no, this needs to be, we know the dimensions are 288 by 176. 176, bam. We know that the color is, let me just open recent, enter desert, bam, just so we have the colors. So in Game Jam, are the games judged against each other? I guess. They're not, like, ranked, though. I think they just give, like, some prizes out. I actually don't know. I have no clue what the actual, like, judging is like. I don't think, I mean, we're not going to, like, so we're not going to come in, like, you know, they're not going to say, oh, you were in the 15th percentile of games or the 96th or whatever. They're just going to say, like, these are our 3 favorites or something. I expect. I guess I don't know for sure. That's what I would do. But I don't know. I haven't done a lot of game jams before. Or ever. This is the first one. So, not sure. Can we create a simple NPC that gives us a boat? What do we use the boat for? I mean, yes. But we can't... The boat would have to be used as like a dialogue thing, I guess. Let's say no. Rango, I'm going to say no, because I don't want to change the way that we travel. That's going to be like a whole thing to add. So this is our base desert tile. I was trying to think about how we could do that, how we could make like a boat that lets us travel to a different place. It's not something that's really supported in our current mechanics. Okay, so here's our cheese desert. We fill in a bunch of these. And then we need little footprints or a little trail or something that goes through the desert as well. On the swamp, the boat can have same movement as us, but with a boat asset under us? No, we can't. We don't have time. That would be cool. We just don't have time. That would be, and like, it's not like the multiple lines of dialogue thing we went and did, but we don't have time to add like a whole different movement thing. On Wisebird, how goes it? It's good. Let me show you what we got in just a second. This is our desert background. We're going to reuse this a bunch of times, which is good. That's where we are. We've got kind of a lot of mechanics in, I think, since you were last here. Sprite size, this has to double. By nearest neighbor. And we will say this is desert. How are we going to describe these different footprint things? We could just say this is desert 0. And we'll call these, ready? A, B, C, D, E. Oh, this one we don't need. This little part we don't need. This will be the oasis. The way to water is blocked off until we have the boat. Then we move like on land, on boat. But the boat asset is under us or on top of us like items. I think it's like we're holding an item is all. The only thing blocking is we need boat item to access water area. I know what you mean. But it's not really something that's built into our like that we can do mechanically right now, Rango. Because, I mean, you need something that is blocking you from going into the water. So maybe you say like the water is a collision thing. Like we could do it. We could make it work. It's absolutely possible. It's going to take a long time. It's just not something that we've really anticipated. So it's not really going to be, it's not something we can put in. Yeah. Not with 1 day left. The way we would do it is we would make the water collide. The water would be a character. We would make it collide, and then if you talk to it with a boat, we would put something that says, we put a tag on the dialogue that tells the water to not collide anymore, kind of the same way that we tell somebody to become an item. But it would be another thing to build. And it wouldn't work the way that we would hope, right? It wouldn't be like if you're holding the boat, you can go through. The boat would basically, if you did it that way, the boat would like unlock the water. And then you could always go on the water, whether you were holding the boat or not. To make it so that it only lets us in if we're holding the boat is just like, we just can't do that easily. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E. F, E. Okay. This is the path through the desert. I think instead of then swamp shouldn't have fishing. Why? Why shouldn't the swamp have fishing? Where can we have other entities go in and out of water? Not really, because water collides with things. I think Rango, we can't add any more mechanics right now. Like it's too. There's not enough time. We just need to add tiles and dialogue and items and NPCs. So right now the rule is everybody has to stay still. We can't have like different textures or different kinds of background that are restricting movement. There's just not a way for us to do that. Cool. A, B, C, D, E. So how are we going to make these tiles? Can we duplicate this? Open. Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't want to sound like short with you, but like there's just no way for us to do it with what we have right now. And like even we're at a point where like even making small changes, we don't have time for. And that would be a pretty big change. Okay. So here's our desert 0. We need to make desert A, B, C with these little footsteps so we can find our way out. So A, B, C, D, E, and then the oasis. I say no fishing. Water is just a block. Fish is on land. Well, fishing we can do. I mean, we can make it so you get a fishing pole and you talk to the water, the little pond or whatever, and it gives you a fish. That's something that we can do mechanically right now. That's sort of why I suggested it. Without adding anything new, that's like already supported. Why do you want the fish to just be on the water or be on the ground? Is there a different reason that I'm not thinking of? Let's make these desert tiles. Okay, so the first one is going to have footprints that take you... what do we want? Up, right, down, down. True. And so what does a little footstep even look like? Maybe it's just a little trail. Actually, yeah, fishing. All right. Yeah, fishing's back in. I know we wanted this idea that like we talk to the fish NPC and he becomes an item. I do think that's funny, but we just I just think actually having fishing will be like another different thing for us to put in the game. Can I just put like a spray tool? Oh, that looks so bad. What if we made it orange? So we just have a trail like, oh, God, that doesn't look good, does it? But it's fine. That's what we'll do. So we'll go like, maybe this will just be like this. Oh, idea. Use the sugar flies either as ingredient or bait for fishing. That we could do. We could say you need like the fishing pole and the bait. That's doable. Maybe. Maybe we would do it. Here's our file, save as. Oh, we gotta make this size duplication thing has been a real mistake. 200, 200, nearest neighbor. Save as, we're gonna call this desert A0. Then we need to match this up, which is a bit of a weird thing. So really what we should do is go Command Z, Command Z. Can I go, is there like a Command Shift Z, undo, a redo? Edit. Nope, redo is not allowed. Okay, cool. Well, that makes it a little bit harder, but it's okay. Here's this needs to go. Oh, does anybody remember? Let's open that other one. Open desert A 0.png. Great. I just want to see where this is supposed to start. Maybe we can use multiple ingredients as bait instead. So far, sugar flies and berries seem like good ideas. Potentially. I'm not against it. Let's let's get more content in this game, but then maybe yes. Okay, so what am I trying to do? I'm just trying to see where this trail should start. Nope, please, not like this. Why would it be gray? I have not chosen the color gray, ever. Game. All right, so here's our trail through the desert. It's beautiful and ingenious. This is going to be... Oh, that other one actually was C. So let's do... Shoot. File. Save as. Desert C0.png. Okay. Add to player choice. How do we get the fishing rod? I think you find the fishing rod leaning up against something. Alternately, somebody could give us the fishing rod, but I'm fine either way. Save as. Nope, this needs to be doubled in size. Ooh. We really just added an extra step to everything we do here. But I think this will add a lot of space to our little world. We go up, we want nearest neighbor. File. Save as. This is actually desert.a.png. Yes, overwrite it. Cool. And then our... Shoot. So we want to take this and kind of move it over here just to remember where this is supposed to be. I literally put my finger on the screen. Great. And then so this has got to go down again. Oh, actually, you know what we could do? If it's all looping, we could save ourselves one. We could have A, B, C, and this could go up, and this could be D, E. And that would have something in every row and every column, right? Is this too big a list for a game jam? Add it to the list. Fishing and ingredients as fishing bait. We will add it as... yes, we'll add it to the list in just a second. Let me just do this thing where I have my finger literally on the screen to help me remember what we need. So this is actually going to go up again. Why is it gray? Why would it be gray? So this is going to go up here. And we'll go... make it double the size. It is too big a list for the amount of stuff that we want to do. Like for the amount of time that we have, it's too big a list. We have too much stuff. So we're not going to, for instance, we're not going to get nearly through all the polished stuff. But we can pick some of our favorites maybe if there's time. So let's save this as, it should be Desert B. 0, okay. So this is actually, we're going to call this, that's our oasis, that's fine. This is going to go actually up here. No, I can't draw. It's forbidden. This is actually going up here and coming up down here. So this is going to be D, and then we'll have the oasis. Let's see. So we can now shrink this down, copy the whole thing, undo again, and then we just want to see where this should come out. I feel this concept will either come off well or be a disaster that was too ambitious. I think we're closer to the second one right now than the first, just to be super honest. I think what we're going to get is something that has some cool mechanics, but is a big mess. And that's the reason why I'm so hesitant to add more like mechanics to it at this point. Is I just want to make sure that we can deliver on what we have, like the ideas that we have, before we try to add anything else or any new code. This got to double in size as always. Sprite. It's got to be 200%. 200%. Nearest neighbor is good. Yes. File. Save as. So tomorrow you have the morning and tiny bit of game evening, if anything is of the game evening, if anything is urgently needed. So it's due at 3 p.m. my time. I got to go to work tomorrow though. So I don't like, so not really. Yeah, let's keep it at this. Cool. We're all on board. A, B, oh, C is already done. So we're going to D. And if we see desert A, B, C, this is D, good. This evening, I say we crunch on recipes. Yeah, I mean, we got a plan. So this evening, we're going to be spending a lot of time writing some dialogue, adding some props, doing items from the polish list. So the afternoon, we got to be writing all our dialogue. We got to be, I mean, we're supposed to be getting our recipes done this morning, to be honest. But we can include recipes as part of dialogue, I guess. Okay, so let's look at what we're doing. We need to draw one more of these desert tiles, right? And this is the oasis. If I look at our little diagram, is that correct? Yes, the last one is our oasis, so we can do something a little different here. So we go C. Let's just move this here. We go Command Z, Command Z. Shoot. Cool. This evening is putting it together. This evening is submitting it. I mean, we gotta be... The putting it together is all day today. Recipes can be done fairly quick. Yes, if we have all the ingredients, like, in the world, then writing more recipes is easy. The problem is communicating those recipes to our player, and stuff is, like, trickier to do. Okay, so here's our little oasis. Oh, maybe you go fishing in this oasis. So there's not like a pond somewhere else. They'll just be like, here. I will make a dish asset now. Don't do a dish asset. We'll draw all the recipes as items because we need to see those items in the game, I think. I do think that those need to be like distinct at a minimum. Okay, so this is going to be sprite size 200. 200. Don't do a dish. If you want to do like a specific, if you want to make a sprite right now, what would help the most is like either making really is ingredients that we know we need. So like oil, for instance, would be a really good one, or wheat or sugar or a potato. Did we make the gentle bird an item yet? Not yet. He's not in the world yet. We don't have his sprite yet either. But, like, yeah, the ingredients are the thing that we need the most right now. Did we save this? No. So this is double the size. Say file, save as. Good idea. F the swamp. This will save a lot of time. Well, we'll still need some kind of an area where we get the flies or whatever. I mean, we just need... I guess we could put everything in the desert, but we need some kind of other area... as well, I think. This is, we'll just call this Oasis. And the water will just be like a big character in the world. And that should work, I think. We'll see. Oasis.png, this should actually be Oasis 0 though. So let's stitch together those backgrounds that we just drew. So we're just going to make a bunch of scenes with nothing in them except for the background and try to stitch them together into that desert that we described. So we've got enter desert. Are you sure we have enough time to make specific sprites for all the dishes? Yes, compared to other things that we can do. I think that is a better use of our time. How do we get oil? From an oil well is the idea. Somewhere in the desert, maybe? Let's see. So we'll go screen. Ooh, you know what? How do we name these different desert panels? We'll name them after compass directions. Because there's 9 of them, right? And then one of them will be desert middle. So we'll say... screen desert west equals new screen. This code we can copy. Bam. And this can be how easy it is to make the desert west. This is actually going to be desert A is this is desert C is the first part of the desert. It just has a background layer. Bam. So we're going to make the big empty desert right now. Then let's do desert. Actually, let's do this from top to bottom. So we'll say desert northeast. And we're just going to do like desert W. And then M will be middle. So desert northeast is going to have this desert A asset, and that's the desert northeast. Desert north is got to be desert B, and it's the same. Desert north, should be desert northwest. Desert northeast is just the desert, 0. It's just plain desert, so that's easy. Desert west would be next. Then we have the desert mid, which is going to be desert. What is it on our little chart? Did I put it over here? Oh, that's still open from like 100 years ago. We also have this other window that has the thing we need. This is AB. Oh, we didn't draw one. Oh, because we went the other way. This is just plain desert. Right. Yep. Yep. This is just plain desert in the middle. All right. Then we have desert east. Desert east is also just desert. That's easy. So that's literally the same. Background. We have desert southwest, which is going to be, I think, also desert. Nice. Reusing these desert tiles feels good. It feels like we can get a lot of areas here for not a lot of work. Desert south, though, needs to be desert D. And then let's just go desert southeast is the oasis. Cool. So we'll need to draw like palm trees and stuff for the oasis, but we should have 9 desert rooms. Let's just check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Let's link them together. So we're going to say enter desert dot east equals desert west. Okay, and we want these to be looping, right? So we'll go let's do these in order. We'll go desert northeast dot north equals desert southeast. Never eat sour wheat. This will take us to desert north. If you go east, oh, this is north. Let's do northwest. Sorry. To start, desert southwest. If you go east, it will take you to desert north. If you go to the south, it will take you to desert west. And if you go west, it'll take you to desert northeast, right? Because that's going to loop. So if you're in the northwest and you go south and you go north, you get to southwest. If you go east, you get to north. If you go west, you get to, or sorry, if you go south, you get to west. That makes sense. And if you go west, you go to northeast. Okay, now we got to copy these blocks and get them, not F them up. So this is, let's go, if you are in the desert north, what happens when you go north? You end up in the desert south. If you're in desert north and you go east, you end up in northeast. If you're north and you go south, you end up in middle. If you're in north and you go west, you end up in the northwest. Easy. We got to do like 9 of these blocks. If you are in the northeast instead of the northwest, then when you go north, you'll end up in the southeast. When you go east, you'll end up in the northwest because you're looping. When you go south, you will end up in the east. When you go west, you will end up in north. All right. What if you are in just the west? So we know west is a special case. Desert west is the way out of the desert, right? So if you go if you go west from desert west, you're supposed to end up in desert, enter desert. Bam. So that's taken care of. If you go north, you should go to northwest. Hopefully this is all going to work. Or it won't. If you go east, you'll go to mid. If you go west, you'll go to... if you go south from the west, you'll go to southwest. That's easy. And then you go to enter desert. Great. Now, what if you were in the middle? This one should be really quick. Because if you go north from the middle, you go to the north. If you go east from the middle, you go to the east. If you go south from the middle, you go to the south. If you go west from the middle, you go to the west. Bam. Easy, quick. The linking. If you... Look at this. This is ridiculous. This needs to be in its own file. If you were to go... let's do from the east now. If you go north from the east, you end up in the northeast. Easy. If you go east from the east, you end up in the west. If you go south from the east, you end up in the southeast. If you go west from the east, you end up in the middle. 3 more to do. Did we call that oasis or did we call it... We called it desert southeast, right? Okay, good. If you are in the... southwest... This is going to work. If you're in the southwest and you go north, you end up in the west. If you're in the southwest and you go east, you end up in the south. If you're in the southwest and you go south, you end up in the northwest. If you're in the southwest and you go west, you end up in the southeast. Bam. If you're just in the south, we will have to test this carefully. If you're just in the south and you go north, you will end up in the middle. If you're in the south and you go east, you will end up in the southeast. If you're south and you go south, you will end up in the north. If you're south and you go west, you will end up in the southwest. Bam. One more. One more and we can stop saying these crazy things about southwest and we can start debugging it and find all the mistakes we made. If you're in the southwest and you go north, you end up in the west. If you're in the southwest and you go east, you end up in the south. If you're in the southwest and you go south, you end up in the northwest. And if you're in the southwest and you go west, you end up in the southeast. Bam. Does it work? We'll find out. But I'm dumb because I did southwest twice. That's a problem. This needs to be the southeast. So we got to do this again, but correct. If you're in the southeast and you go north, you end up in the east. If you're in the southeast and you go east, you end up in the southwest. If you're in the southeast and you go south, you end up in the northeast. If you're in the southeast and you go west, you end up in the south middle, right? No. You end up in the south. There is no south middle. That's not a thing. Southeast, you go west, you end up in the south. Cool. Great. Let's see what that did. I don't know if that's going to work. Just had to lose my mind there for a second. But I think that that will do everything we need. The code shockingly compiles. Will it be right? We should be able to test it fairly easily. So here's our little world. Bam, we can run around. We can pick up the recipe. We can read it. We can put it down. We can take it with us. Let's take this recipe with us. Give me this. We're taking you on a journey. If we go here, now we're in the entrance to the desert. We're going to block off the north and south here, maybe with some like big walls or something, like some big mountain walls, so you don't go there. Okay, so now we're in the desert. If we follow this trail, we should end up at the end of the trail. That's the first test. Okay, already we've effed it up. Good. Uh-huh. Go on. Interesting. Very interesting. So let's find out what we did all wrong. Okay, so in the desert, so the first thing is one of these sprites is just too small. That's hilarious. Project. Assets. Resources. Which one? Are there two of the same? 0. Desert A, B, C. D. And then the oasis. Which one is too small? Desert 0 is too small. Oh. And the rest of them are fine? The rest of these are all the right size? Okay. I trust. So let's fix Desert 0. Can I... Sprite, this should be quick enough. Okay. And if we say file, save as, this we want to just be Desert 0. Yes. And now Desert 0 should be the correct size. 576, 576, 576, 576, 576, 576. Great. The problem is, well, there's maybe a number of problems. The first problem seems to be, when we go from Enter Desert, it takes us to Desert West, which is good. However, Desert West has this Desert A texture, has this Desert C texture, right? Let's find out. Desert West has Desert C. If we look at Desert C, that's the right one. That's what it's supposed to be. However, when we went north from Desert West, which would take us, was supposed to take us to Desert Northwest, we got Desert A. Desert A is the wrong texture. Desert A and Desert B are switched for some godforsaken reason. That's okay. That's an easy fix. Is it just that these are switched? Because we can just swap them. Why would they both be... rename. Call this Desert B0. And this is a Desert B0. Okay, so now we go. Let's follow it through here. C, A to B. B weirdly goes to D. D is wrong. D is the same as Oasis. All right, we overwrote this at some point. Okay, we can fix this. So our Desert D is the wrong thing. It's the same as oil in, noise. I'll take a look in just a second. Our Desert D is the same as our Oasis, and that's our problem. So, Desert D instead needs to be... Actually, I can't just reuse... Why are there two of these? Oh, this is a sprite? I'm baffled. Colors for oil was difficult? Let's see. Oh, looks good. It's like a little thing of oil. I see it. Can we? We shouldn't. Can we just reuse? Oh, A is wrong. No, A is right. A is right. Let's reuse. Okay, follow me on this. What if we went... into our code. And for the one that's supposed to be desert D, we changed that to be desert A because those are the same shape. Let's see what we've got. So we run right up the desert. Hopefully... Okay. Running to the desert. Here we go. We are in the desert now. So if we go north, that's great. And this should take us to the end of the road. Cool. That all works. So here we are in the northeast. Let's make sure that wrapping all works too. So this should take us to... Or this is the northwest. How many ingredients are on the board? 0. I mean, none of the new ingredients are on yet. The desert is just empty right now. 1. This should be empty. This should be the northwest again. Cool. That works. Can we do Gentlebird after desert? Yes. Where do you want to put Gentlebird? Where should Gentlebird live? From here, will this looping work? We should go... Oh, wait. Actually, let's loop back the other direction and make sure that works. So, bam. This should be empty. This should be good. Good. Bam. Bam. These should both be empty. That's good. And it'll just take us back to the beginning. Great. Going the other direction, we should see 2 empties and then go back to the beginning. Nope, we don't. Right, because it doesn't loop this one. Good. That actually is the way it's supposed to be. This is correct. Here's your oasis. This takes us to an empty thing again. Good. And if we go back the other way, does that all work? Here's the end. Lives in fields, maybe forest. Do you want to put him in, like, north of the creamery? Like, I should make a broccoli tree. Do you want to put him in, like, a field, maybe north of the creamery or something? And so now we got to do vertical loops, too. Let's just make sure those all work. Good. Good. Next one. Empty. This should be another empty after this. Good. Empty. Good. This should be empty, empty, end of trail. Good. Empty, empty, end of trail. Cool. The looping all works in the desert. Good. Desert area is ready, but there's nothing in it. And if we check this, pepper poppers. Oh, boy. So now we got to decide where to put all this stuff. Let's try to get... There's a lot to do, isn't there? We're going to... Should we make a call about not having... So desert is like east, right? Desert's to the west. And creamery is north. West, we could... Him west, or he could own the creamery. Let's put him to the west, maybe. I think we might make a call here about how many areas we want to add. Well, let's actually do that right now. I think this is the time where we gotta make a call to not add too many more places, or this is not going to get done. So we've got our desert, right? And we've got 9 whole tiles there. Let me get rid of the things that aren't real, that aren't in our game. So if we look at our important little diagram here, this is our game world right now. Anywhere that doesn't connect to stuff, we either need walls or we need to, probably more likely, we just put in logic to make it so you can't walk off the edge of the screen. Let's actually do that. And that will save us a lot of time because we won't have to draw walls around everything. So we can do that right after this. But... So yeah, so we've got our desert over here. It's got 9 tiles. Can I make a little birdhouse thing? Not an interactive item, pure detail? Absolutely. Yeah, and that's something that we want to do is to add those kinds of items. Like when we go to, look here, add a bunch of props. That's kind of what I have in mind for that, is just to like kind of fill out the world a little bit with stuff like that. I think would be awesome. We've got our little world here so far. So there's the kitchen, there's the king's place, here's the crossroads, here's the entrance to the desert, here's the creamery. So what if we put Rango, what if we had Gentlebird like in like a barn that's north of the creamery, and then that's like a dead end. So we go let's do it like this. So like north of here, there's a barn, and he's like out there, and he owns the creamery. I'm up for that. And a birdhouse is where maybe is part of the farm or where he lives or whatever. We can just have that as an asset here. The question then is, so are most of the ingredients in the desert? I guess. What do we want to put over here in this direction? Let's just define how many rooms there's going to be, and then we can. That'll be like a good place for us to be like. That'll give us like an idea of how much we need to scope for. Can I make more bird people, but they aren't interactive, or just tell you to F off, and the gentle bird can have his own screen to stand out? Yes. What if we make this... You can, but we might not get a chance to use them, Rango. That's the honest answer. Because, like, I'm looking at this and being like, what if we don't make any more rooms after this? Potato would be helpful. Yeah, honestly. Oh, yeah, and so he needs potato. So maybe he has, like, a little potato field out here. This is, like, his potato field. Oh, boy. So this is potatoes. P for potatoes. These are the ones that we still need to do. We need the barn up here. The potato fields here. And then we need maybe something in this direction that's just like a couple of rooms. What's an area that would be 2 little rooms? Do we want that to be our little swamp? Where the sugar flies are? That's what it's going to be. This is our swamp. Our swamp is going to be 2 rooms. This is going to be our whole map. So this is going to be enter swamp. And this is going to be the swamp. Okay, bird village people, yes or no? No. If it's a yes or no, it's no. Because I don't think we're capping the number of rooms now. We might be able to put 1 more in the swamp, but otherwise, we don't need like a whole village of birds. There's just not going to be time to put them in. Cool. So let's do this. So that means there are 4 rooms that we need left to do. Let's draw those 4 backgrounds, put those 4 scenes in the game, and then say we're done with the map. Okay, so this is what our map is going to look like. We're going to have the king's castle, we have the kitchen, we have the crossroads, we have the entrance to the desert, we have the desert, which is 9 spots. There's lots of places we can hide in there. Yeah, we can make the Gentlebird the creamery owner. I'm on board with that for sure. We've got the creamery. We've got, or maybe this is like woods out over here, and then like a swamp area. So we'll say like, oh boy. There'll be berry bushes here in the entrance to the swamp. That's fine. So we'll have the barn or wherever the gentle bird lives. Then we'll have the potato fields here, the entrance to the swamp, and the swamp. So in terms of the ones we need to draw a background for the potato fields. We need to draw a background for where the barn is. How about just woods and farm, no swamp? I'm down with that. Yeah, we'll call this woods. Woods. And if we want to add more to the woods, we can. Otherwise, we won't. I mean, flies are found in fields. True. We'll put them in the woods. That's fine. They'll be in there. So the woods will just be like a darker green background. And so we have 4 more tiles to do. And then we're going to say no more tiles. And anything that we want to add, we just pack it into what we have here. Okay? I don't care why you went straight to swamp. Flies live in swamps, like little bugs and stuff. And we also wanted like a little pond or something. What do you got against the swamp? I think of like little flies and mosquitoes as being out there. No, but it's fine. We'll have the... plus we could have a Shrek reference, potentially. Somebody could ask what you're doing in their swamp, if there was a swamp. This is our world. So anything that we want to add has to be in one of these rooms from this point out. No more rooms after this. No more. And this is our whole game map. And I think I'll make broccoli tree, and I think they should be our last ingredient. I'm on board. Yep, broccoli tree's good. Can we make it so you like it has like a broccoli that you take off of the tree? Can we cook the cows? I'm going to say no. No cooking the cows. Even though that would make a lot of sense, the way that we drew the cow, you can't get to it. It's behind a fence. So broccoli is the last thing. What do we use broccoli in, Rango? Potatoes and broccoli? Broccoli? I don't know how to spell broccoli. We're going to make these last 4 rooms, hook it all up, walk around the map, and make sure that all the map works. Then we'll take a break for lunch. Then we'll come back, start packing these with items. Then we do the dialogue. That's good. So in that way, we'll be sort of on schedule. Okay, so that's it. Cheesy broccoli. Absolutely. Cheesy broccoli for one. Excellent idea. Yes, it's in. Put it in the game. Cheesy broccoli. So then we'll be done with Stitch Together Boring World. That was our goal for this morning, and we'll have completed that if we have this map. And then in the afternoon, we'll write some dialogue. That'll also mean characters who have dialogue. We'll put them in. So we'll put in, we'll say, write some dialogue. Let's write add essential items. So these are like the gameplay items, like the recipe pages and the items that you need to pick up as ingredients. Best be broccoli. It's like a Japanese dish. Okay, sure. I'm on board. And we do the spicy pepper. This is the wrong thing. But yeah, so that's the plan as of now. We'll draw these 4 backgrounds. We'll stitch together our boring world. We eat lunch. We come back. We add the essential items that we need for the gameplay. We'll probably review our list of recipes and or our list of ingredients and cut it down to exactly what we need. We'll write some dialogue. After we add the essential items, we will add recipes or code up recipes. Write some dialogue. Add a bunch of props. Do items from polish list, and that'll be it. And then we'll have our game. We can have I don't know how to say that word, but like potato, broccoli, and I swear we had 1/3 vegetable. We have peppers, we could put in 1 more vegetable. Like if you want carrots or something, we could put it, like a ratatouille. Maybe? Ratatouille? I don't know that word. We don't, but we absolutely could put in like, we have wheat, potato. That's not really something we do. You could put in carrots or something though. Do you want carrots and potatoes on the farm? Bam. I like the idea that we do the bird quest. You can cook with a gentle bird. Also, I was thinking more pick up the whole tree. All right, I'm on board. Pick up the whole broccoli tree. We'll do it. That'll be easy-ish to do. Cool. So that's the plan. Yes, the French dish you said. Okay, ratatouille. I think. Yeah. So let's stitch together our boring world. We'll walk all around it. We'll make sure it works. We'll add the essential items. We'll code up all the recipes. We'll write the dialogue. Then we can decorate. Then we can do polish. I can add another vegetable to the forest. Perfect. Yeah, that'll work. Yay. Oh, man. Okay, so let's actually, really quick, let's finalize our list of ingredients, okay? So berries, cream, guacamole, cheese, gentle bird, but you only get 1 from doing his bird quest, fish, oil, wheat, sugar, potato, pepper, broccoli, and 1 more vegetable, maybe carrots. Those are all the ingredients in the world. Those are all the ones. We can make a bunch of recipes from them. Potentially. So what all are we going to have to draw? A lot. We are getting rid of fried gentlebird. We're cutting down the list of recipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 right now. 20 recipes total, and we'll call it there. So you going off now? Not quite. We're gonna do these backgrounds and then we'll go off. I'm just trying to make a plan. But I realize it sounds like I'm wrapping up. 20 recipes. These are the 20 recipes. And pepper. Did I miss pepper? I think we got pepper. So in total, there will be in the world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ingredients, including the gentle bird. And 1, 2, 3, 20 recipes. And we won't add any more. Those are all of them. And we can attach values to all of them. The last other item that we need to do this afternoon, before we add essential items, let's do actually code up recipes. That's when we'll we'll handle the refactoring the ink code a little bit then. That'll be in code up recipes. Cool. Boring world. Let's go. 4 backgrounds, and then we put them in, and they'll be empty, and then we'll be done. We also need We also need to make our character not walk off screen. So we'll say, let's do that now too. Before lunch. Character doesn't walk off screen. Just creamy gentle bird pie. I will say, is there anything else that uses the gentle bird? Did I take out everything else that uses him? Yeah, I guess so. Do you want to put back in the fried gentle bird? Okay, fried gentle bird. 21 recipes. Fried gentle bird, you're back in. That also gives us another use for oil. Oh, is wheat going to be on the farm too? You sure you want to make an asset for every single dish? I will say yes. We can fly. I think we can do a bad job and fly through these. I can get the recipes when it's time to do that. And we'll just, because we can just blast through those super fast, I hope. I say instead gentle thighs and chips. Okay. So what do we need to make that? Like a gentle bird and potato chips and chips. Gentle. I like the phrase gentle thighs and chips. So I'm on board. And creamy gentle bird pie. Gentle bird pie and thighs. No, we'll go gentle thighs and chips is going to be gentle bird and chips. Cool. So we need lots of potatoes, lots of carrots. Figuring out how many of each of these ingredients we need in the world is also going to be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so let's do the field. The field needs to have a wheat and potatoes and maybe... Oh, you said that other vegetable will be in the forest, right? So it needs 2 fields, 1 for wheat and 1 for potatoes. We can do that as a start. Let's draw that. 288 by 176. Great. Open recent. Can I have enter desert? That'll have the colors that I need. Good. Bam. Here's our farm. Or here's our fields. You know, our fields that people farm in. We also need this color. So broccoli, chips, or bread with the thighs? Chips. How about gentle, I missed this one. How about gentle thighs mixed with a few different stuff, and we can just reuse the thigh asset to add the different stuff? The thing is, there's only going to be one gentle bird in the game. Let's cap it right now at those 2 uses. I think. I say keep pie, yes, because then we can use one pie asset and just add like a feather on it. That's a great idea. That's the kind of prudent thinking we need right now. Yeah. I'm on board. Bam. Now I need the field part of the field, which is going to be like bam and bam. And we'll just put a bunch of potatoes and stuff in there. And that is our that's our field background. And maybe we could put like a nice fence or something if we have time. We'll decorate it with other stuff. No, but let's do some more squares in here. Good. Save it. Print it. I'll go and work on broccoli tree. Awesome. Thanks, Ringo. I know I'm being a little stressed and a little short with you. I actually do appreciate all your help though. I don't want to minimize that by being a little terse. Let's call this field 0 and we'll save it as a PNG. Bam. Field 0, done. Field done. Now we need where the barn is. The barn is going to be on an area that is that same color green again. You've been good? All right, all right, all right. Boom. Bam. This is going to be a similar style. We're just going to go drop some squares in this. But then we need where the barn or the house or wherever will be. And so that will just be like a big gray slab. So the house, his house will be like here maybe. Bam. And we put, oh no, but we need to see the whole house. That's kind of the difficulty of it, right? Or like the top of it at least. So here's where the top of the house will be. And maybe you'll have another little, like just some flowers or something here we could optionally add. And if we forget to, or if we don't have time, then we will just have a patch of dirt right there. And that'll be that. Boom. 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 This is, can I just get a little square there? This is where the barn is. This is where the barn is. We'll call this barn 0. We'll draw the barn as like a collision object when we go in and do all the props. And we'll say, nope, but we've got to double the size, sprite size, 200, make it a nearest neighbor thing, great, file, save as. It's fun. We've bitten off more than we can chew in the amount of time that we have, but it's exciting. And then we need one more background, 288 by 176, perfect. And this is, no, we need 2 more, right? We need the road going into the woods. So if we have crossroads, let's open that up because we need that as a reference. Open crossroads, bam. And let's just use this to know where the road needs to start. Bam. And we can go like this, fill all this in. Here's our road. Our road is just going to come out here and come to an abrupt end, or come to an end to show that we're going into the new area. And the new area will be up from here. So we can do, can I get a pencil tool? This is like a 4. So like go out over here and say, look, you're at the end of the road over here. It's a very short road. You're at the end of this very short road. And we have been making this have a little, no. Making this have a little, look, this is ending thing here. Put some little squares there. And then we need like a dark green or a different, can we make it like a blue kind of green for the woods? Up here? Ooh, that doesn't look very good, does it? I just want it to be different green. Oh, that's the one we're working with. That's kind of too similar. We can make it brown. Boom. Oh, that looks awfully ugly, doesn't it? It's fine. So we do this like this, and this has like brown squares in it. That's what you get. Boom. And then this needs to be filled in with more of this dark brown up here. We'll just put this at like an 8 and kind of make this like blend together. We'll get rid of that little dot. Bam. Cool. Let's do this like this. Boom. So this is going to a new area in the north. And then we need those dark green squares as well, because this is the style. Good. Print it. Double the size of this. And then we just need the woods. We are going to call this Enter Woods. But we need to save that as a PNG. PNG, and that should be enter woods with a capital W. Good. And then the last thing that we need is our woods area. So we'll make another new background. And it will just be basically exactly what you would expect based on our style so far. Bam. Woods area is going to be kind of ugly. Bam. Woods. Double the size as always. Whew. We're there. Woods, 0. Great. And then we'll say file, save as, and we'll make it a PNG. Boom. All right. That should be all of our tiles. Let's double check that they're all here and that they have the right size. So we added the field 0. It is the correct size. We added wood 0. It's the correct size. We need enter woods. We got it, and it's the correct size. And we need a barn. And we got it, and it's the correct size. Okay, let's put in these 4 new scenes. We'll link them up, and then we'll take a break for lunch. So, how do we want to write these in? I really kind of regret having this huge list of scenes, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. So there's the creamery. So we'll say after the creamery, we'll have a new screen, which is going to be the field, and it's just going to have that background. So we're going to call this field. Its texture name is going to be field for its background. And that is the end of that scene. Boom. One scene drawn. Wants a semicolon. That's fair. We also need the barn. Okay, I think once we can be adding a bunch of these, we're going to be drawing a lot in a hurry. I think is how we're going to spend a lot of the afternoon, and then writing a lot too. So we've got our barn as well. So our field and our barn are here. Let's also just put in before the desert. We'll put in the woods and enter woods. Now, technically, we will have the option to add more areas if we really, really want to. Let's do that only if there's time. In fact, we're not going to do it. I'm just going to say we're not going to add any more areas. This is all the rooms. That's the smarter thing to say, right? Enter woods. Bam. So, we've got these scenes set up. We now need to link them together. So, we'll say that this is crazy. Look at this. I thought this was so smart. Now I see how just absolutely maddening it is. So let's link desert rooms, deserts. We'll call this desert rooms. Castle rooms. I don't know. There's probably a better way to organize this than just having all of the links in a row, but it's fine. Castle rooms, we'll say farm rooms, and then we'll have woods rooms also. Woods rooms. Okay, so to the west of the creamery, we got, to the east of the creamery, we've got the field, right? Is it field or fields? Why would I do this to myself? It's the field. 1. Great. That means at the same time, to the east, or to the west of the field, we need it to be the creamery. Good. Great. That's just a 1-to-1. Oh, cool, Rango. I see you just sent me some more assets. The creamery.north is the barn. and that means that the barn.south is the creamery. It would be good. We might put a sign up or something in the creamery to like make it clear which directions you're allowed to go, but it's fine. The woods. So that's the new farm rooms linked up. In the woods, we need to say that crossroads dot west equals enter woods. Here we say enter woods dot east is the crossroads. Enter woods dot north is the woods. And enter woods dot, and that means that the woods dot south equals enter woods. Bam. All these rooms should be in. They should be linked up. Let's see if that kind of worked. And then the one thing we'll do before lunch is we'll make it so your character can't walk off the screen, even if there's no wall there, even if there's nothing. If there's nowhere for you to teleport to, then you can't walk beyond a certain point. Will these all kind of work? Moment of truth. And then we've got our whole little open world. I say open world. It's relatively open. Over here, we have the field. Great. Up north, we should have the barn. Great. If we go down and over here, here's the woods. Here's the woods. Great. This is indeed our world. Okay, the world, boring world is linked up. We have done this. Ooh. Oh yeah, there's nothing to the north here. So what we need to do is a little beyond the point where we teleport, we need to make it so you're not allowed to walk any further. So we'll say, where did we define the edges of the screen before? So on move player, we said to do clean this up a lot. That's a good idea. So move screen was at, screen top Y. Oh. So let's just do perfect. We'll say if up and player transform dot position. Oh my god. Dot Y is less than screen top Y plus we'll put like a screen edge buffer will also be an amount. So let's actually define that real quick. So in the same place that we put screen top, the screen boundaries will go private, const, float, screen, buffer. So this is how far, what do we call it? Screen edge buffer. This is how far after the teleport place you're allowed to walk before it would stop you. And that is going to be 0.25. I think. And we can change that if we need to. So we'll go screen left. Great. So screen edge buffer. Great. We can do a similar thing for down, left, and right. Make sure that those all work. So if we say and image size is F, but tree is supposed to be like double or 3 times the size of us, and we're picking up the whole tree, we can do it. Okay, we'll make a note of it. So if you're going down and you're greater than screen bottom Y minus this screen edge buffer. Sorry, and you're greater than. Yeah, like we picked up the pillars before. All right, we can do it. The pillars actually are small. The pillars are the same size as us. But yeah, there's nothing in our engine that stops us from doing that. So I'm down. I'm down with picking up a whole giant tree. Final idea for final food. Mushrooms. You got me. You got me on mushrooms. We're putting them in. Mushrooms are in. Bam. We can get them in the woods maybe. Maybe that's our last vegetable. Can that be the last vegetable instead of like carrots or whatever we were thinking? Could we just go mushrooms? And we use that in our ratatouille or whatever. Then we can do some stuff with mushrooms too. Let's have like mushroom people. We don't do a quest for them. Tiny, and we just pick them up. I'm on board. Yep. And we can talk to them, and they can be like, "Please don't cook me in a meal." And we cook them in a meal because we don't even care. Okay. So if you are trying to go left, and I like it. I'm on board. So if you're trying to go left, which is going to be negative, and you are less than the screen. Oh boy, screen left X minus screen edge buffer, then you're fine. Then we'll keep moving you. If you want to go right, shoot. The guacamole will be the weirdest. It's okay. It'll just be in the desert. We'll look at it and it'll be like, this is a guacamole cactus. And it'll be fine. I think it's going to be a little bit of a fever dream no matter what we do at this point. So I'm fine to just lean into it and go all the way. Player facing is 0, player facing is 1. Great. Delta time times speed scale. Great. True. Yeah. Let's make sure that this boundaries thing works. And then we'll take a little break. And we'll come back. It might be a long break. We might take a... Where's the problem? 765. What have I done wrong? They don't like me calling it player because I guess they're right. The player doesn't exist because it's supposed to be player go. So all of these places where we called it player.transform, we just need to replace that with player go.transform. Player go.transform. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. Let's make sure this works. And so we can't walk off the edge of the screen. I can get all this in. This might legit be neat. Like knockoff Don't Starve meets Overcooked. I think it's going to be... I mean, the game is going to be basically a little scavenger hunt, right? I think the things that are going to make it pop are going to be having kind of funny items and then having really good, cute dialogue, too, with like King Cake and everybody else. Okay, so here I am. I can't really test on this screen. So I can teleport, but I can't walk to the left. So walking to the left is broken. You hate to see it. Why? No, because this should be a greater than sign. Let's make sure we can walk to the left. We have 2 to 4 characters. Yeah, we've got... Yeah, and I think having Gentle Bird is going to be a nice touch too. We can have a little conversations with the mushrooms. Might actually be kind of funny. But like you still pick them up and use them for food. It's weird. We've made something very weird. Let's not pretend that's not the case. But okay, and I can't go off the bottom here. Good. And we can still see my hat, which is good enough. Here I can't go off the edge. We might change this screen bottom. Whoa. How'd I get out of here? How did I break free? I'm not sure how we did that. We'll move up the screen bottom. That's easy. And the screen top, where's somewhere where there's no top boundary? I guess over here. Screen top could be lower too. Screen right and left are good. We'll move the screen top and bottom a little tighter. I know this is kind of a polish thing, but it's fine. This will be real quick. So we'll say the screen top and bottom, instead of 5.5, we'll make this like 5.25. Just a little adjustment. That might not be enough. We'll see. Cool. But if we've got this done, then we have our whole map. We have all of the mechanics in place. We still got a lot to do, but we got our whole map. We got all our mechanics in place. The only code improvement we really need right now is to our ink script to make it so we don't have to copy the values of recipes all over the place. So now if I go up and down, do these look better? That's nice. Wow, actually that's still pretty low. We'll put it at 5. Okay. And so that's also where you teleport. But it looks like teleporting works, more or less. Oh, you know what, though? If we change those screen boundaries, this is a mistake we made. 10.5. This needs to be just like 10 now? Maybe even 9.5? F, 9.5F. Let's see if how that looks on the up and down. We've got this almost all right, I think. Everything's here that we need to finish at this point. It's no longer a question of like, do we have all the required pieces? I was wrong, actually. That might be... No, that's fine. Is he too high up when he teleports back in? And then here, I can see the top of his head, but that's it. Perfect. That's perfect. We can go wander around the desert. We can take the cream. Oh, you know what I want to test, actually? I want to test one thing real quick. That we did yesterday. So if I put these things down. So my question is... No. Hold up. If I were to have berries and cream and something else in my inventory, is that going to work correctly? No. Put this down. The inventory management. So I've got cream. So the order of my inventory is cream, recipe, page, and then berries. If I take these and try to make berries and cream, what will happen? Will my inventory kind of sort itself out? Some delicious berries and cream. Nice. We have our recipe, and now we have the berries and cream on top of it. Cool. That's what I wanted to see. And if I had both of these, I can talk to the king. He's so small. Try these berries and cream. That was $11. Great. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to scatter little recipe pages all over the world, too. That'll be fine. This is going to be... I think this is going to be really... I hope that this world is going to be really crowded with... stuff. Or maybe he can say that he's like scattered the pages. Somebody scattered the pages across the desert or something. I don't know. Things to think about. Yeah, so let's also add one more thing. How's it going? Progress going well? Yeah, let me show you what we got so far. We've put Twitch Tourist a limit on the size of our map. So we're not adding any more places, but a lot of the places are empty right now. And so we need to put in props and stuff. But, so we've made it so that this is our little beginning. This is still placeholder. Actually, can we zoom in for this? Can I make this just bigger? This is all placeholder content still. But, or dialogue still. So he says, I'm King Cake. This didn't go as off the rails as expected. I'm almost home. Gonna be off for a bit. That's perfect. We're gonna break for lunch in just a second, Rango. But so we can talk to the King Cake. He can have some lines of dialogue with him. We can find these recipe pages, which will say like, hey, you can make berries and cream with one berry and one cream, and you'll get $11. And so if we go out into the world and we find the berries and cream, like on this berry bush, we get the berries, and maybe we go up to the creamery. Where's the creamery? We check the sign. Oh, Mingus Farms Creamery is right up to the north. So we go and we get the cream. There'll be more cream probably later. We can take these back to our little kitchen and cook them up. Hold up. You fire up the old cooker. Time to make some money. Berries and cream. Bam! We got the berries and cream. If we were to bring them to him, he will try them and say, dang, that was delicious. Have $11. So we can get paid that way. We also added some more areas. So we've got the farm. These are all empty. This is where there's going to be some crops to get. We're going to put a barn up here with an NPC. Ooh, what is this? Oh, you know why this is happening? Because we're bouncing off of the cow. And the cow is too far north. So we got to move the cow south. That's a quick bug fix we can do. We can go out in the desert and you can get lost in the desert. Nice. What is the main goal of the game? The main goal of the game is this is a good question, pay down your debt to king cake. So you've got to keep making food and feeding it to him. So he says, you owe me $89 now. And so we'll make it so if you get down to owing him $0, then like you win. There's like an end condition or something. So that'll be the goal, is to go out in the world, find these recipes and find the ingredients that you need for them, bring them back, cook up the recipes, feed the results to King Cake to get money or points or whatever. Yeah, and that's our whole, if you go in the desert and you follow this little trail, then it'll take you somewhere specific. But otherwise, the desert is like a loop, and you could get, I mean, it's not that hard to get unlost because you'll find the trail again if you just walk in one direction long enough. No matter where you are, you should always find the trail. Yeah. And you can follow the trail, and it'll take you to one end or the other. Anyway, that's what we've got. So we've got all of the mechanics, all the pieces in. The part that we need to do next is the placeholder art sticking? I think, unfortunately, it is. I think the placeholder art is, we got to keep it. We got no time. Because realistically, I got to finish this tonight because I just got work tomorrow. So probably we're going to stick with the placeholder art. We're going to draw a bunch of art this afternoon that's also going to be similarly placeholder-y. And populate this world with little items and stuff, and then write a bunch of dialogue. Yeah, so let's actually do that as a wrap-up. Let's look at what our next steps are for the rest of the day. So this morning, what did we do? We got done, listed some recipes. We did that. We've got all the recipes we want to make. Dialogue can turn somebody into an item. We added this feature, so you can make it so if you... What about looking on... opengameart.org for some stuff you can use? That's not a bad idea. We probably should have just used somebody else's art assets. I think we'll just throw together a bunch of bad assets. Our first rule is if it looks bad, that's fine. And if we like this a lot, maybe we can come back and clean it up, or make like a better thing with the same like code that we've written. But I think for this game jam, we'll keep it consistently bad, I guess, rather than try to shift the style here. So yeah, we did dialogue can turn someone into an item. Yes, we stitched together Boring World. Boring World is our world without any items in it. And we made it so our character doesn't walk off the screen, and that's going to save us from drawing walls everywhere, which is what we did in the first few rooms. You can tell there's like walls that keep us from walking off the screen. But then in the later worlds, in the later rooms, there's not. And that's fine. So we won't have to add these all over the place. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why'd you get stuck there? Actually. Oh, some kind of bug. I bet we need more of a buffer. Hold up. Let's change this buffer real quick. This is easy. This is an easy fix, hopefully. Let's change it to 0.5. Try it again. But using pre-made assets is something that we should have done. And for like next game jam, I think that's something either I'll try to find somebody who's like an artist that I can work with, who instead of trying to do the art and the code, or we'll just use pre-made assets because it has burned up a lot of time. All right, so if we go, oh wait, we wanted to check this edge here, right? Was giving us trouble. Why is this still giving me trouble? It's like if we're standing in exactly the right place, it feels like we can't quite get out. It's got to be these boundaries. Hold up. What if we just get more and more generous with this? So if you're we let you go a whole one past the point where you should teleport. I think it's something related to our speed plus the amount of space we put on the screen before you teleport. But it could be something else. Something else funky could be going on. Maybe it's teleporting us back and forth and we don't realize it? No, that feels pretty reasonable. Cool. No. What's happening here? If I look at, let's look at our player and see what his coordinates are. So if he's here, he's at, why is he getting stuck sometimes? Yeah, so he's at like negative 7.1, 7.2, which is, we teleport him at 8. We're supposed to let him walk until 9. So he should be able to walk here, but it's like he's bouncing off of something. Does this happen on any other screen, or is it just there? Can I replicate this here? That is an odd one. Possibly we're bouncing off of like, no, there is no far wall. I was going to say maybe we're bouncing off of this wall over here, but there isn't a wall over here. Wait, some of our walls are missing. Oh boy, we got to look into this. There's supposed to be a full wall vertical somewhere here. Are they off screen? That's what it is. There's walls just off screen that for some reason we can't see. This is the fix. Okay, and that's why it's only happening here. Okay, so the screen edge buffer, we'll leave it as it is. It's fine. We made it more generous, but that's probably okay. Here where there's these full walls horizontal, I swear something about like the scale of this game changed at some point. What if we make this 4.5? Will we be able to see this wall now in the throne room if we do that? So there should be one big full wall. Let's fix this and then we'll break. Do we see the wall now? I think that's the problem. I think just off screen there's a wall that we can't see. It's here now. The wall is just invisible. So maybe the wall's in the right place, but it's... Ah, why would that be? Our background is supposed to be on the background layer. So our wall should be in front of it. Why did our walls become invisible? And just the vertical walls, oddly. We have our sorting layers. Let's take a look at that sorting layer if we can find it. So like the main camera is on layer default. If we go look at the sorting layers, we have background, prop layer, character layer. So everything should be character layer by default. Collides true. Are they like getting bumped out by the other walls? No, that seems crazy. Those are all holding still because those other walls are holding still. Okay, let's look at where the wall is when we play this because we can look at its coordinates. It'll show up here. One quick bug to fix. In a pinch, we could just remove those walls. We don't actually need them anymore. What have I done? Hold up. Oh, I'm messing with the full wall horizontal. That's part of the problem, where I need to be looking at the full wall vertical. Okay, we put that back to the way it was. Let's take a look at what the coordinates of those walls are. Why are they getting bumped off the screen? Or are they? Or are they there and we're invisible? Or are they like off screen? What's their deal? I think they actually might just be off screen. So if we look at full wall vertical, we can see that this is at 8.5 where it's supposed to be. Let's bring it in a little bit. So instead of putting it at, Lord. Yeah, so we changed the wrong one here. Let's put it at 8.0 and put all of these walls at 8.0. Does that fix this first room? What a fun bug. Why is the scale changing? I swear this is that at some point the screen just like because all our backgrounds at one point fit and then stopped fitting too. Did I accidentally nudge the camera or something? And if I look at my full wall vertical, that's now at 8, but now 8 is off screen. But it's closer. We're bouncing off of it sooner. So that's sort of good. So we put it at what, 7.5? I mean, this is the problem with doing it this way, right? Unity is supposed to let us just like drag and drop stuff, and we can make sure it looks exactly right in a window. But because we're spawning everything in through here, through the code, it doesn't work. Is there a special reason why you're doing all the level design with code and not the scene editor? Yeah, that's sort of what I was talking about. Because I wanted to be able to like spawn and despawn all the items in the same scene, but mostly because I didn't really know how to do it in Unity. This puts the walls in the right place. But yeah, the right way to do that is probably just to edit the scene. But I wanted to have it all kind of like blank to start, and then as we go from room to room, we load in, we drop in the assets that we need. So like you can see, and we take this page with us, and it'll come with us to the other room. But then the other things that we don't need are not here. Oh, there's 2 pages in here. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a real bugbear though when we're trying to do things like what we're doing now. Trying to dial in where things are supposed to be by coordinates, because I don't really have a good frame of reference. And it also seems like I swear it's changing. I swear 8.5 worked before, and now it has to be 7.5, and I don't know what's different. For the future, you can still do something like that. You can tap into the Unity editor components. We can do the Unity editor components. Oh, okay, yeah. So we've added components to some of our stuff. But yeah, that sounds like, I suspect we're not supposed to do it this way, where we define everything's location in code. You can script your own editor behaviors, I mean. Yeah, so we do a tiny bit of that in this. Okay, these walls all look good again now. That's the fix. What's an example of somewhere that we do this? So we have like a component on, for instance, this page, but all it's doing is linking it back to an item in our scene. So we added a game component, this screen child, that just has some pointers back to other things in our code from the game object. Because when we collide, we could only get it was the whole thing. When we do the collide, we can get the game object, but not like the character class that we're using to track all the items. And so we needed a way to go from that back to our actual kind of top script. But yeah, I think that's what we would try to do next time, is try to write this in more of an object-oriented way. And then just drop a bunch of items in the scene with the objects, and try to do this in a little bit of a different way, just so that decorating these scenes is a little bit easier. In any case, we fixed this dumb bug. Something changed. I don't know what it was, but it's fine. You could have saved yourself a bunch of time on the script compilation every time. True. Yeah. I mean, the difference is, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we wouldn't have had to compile the script every time. The other way we would have fixed that is by breaking out the script into different files, right? I mean, right now, all of our code is in one file. So every time we do this, we're having to, or I guess we would still have to compile everything. I'm not sure how their compiler works. Probably. Yeah, that's what we'll do next time. We'll try to do this in a more Unity way, rather than just having one script that controls literally everything. But we're going to call it there for now. We'll be back in half an hour or so, probably a little after 2, to keep working on this and try to fill out the rest of the content. What are we doing? We're adding the essential items, we're coding in the recipes, we're writing a bunch of dialogue, we're decorating our thing with some props, and then we're maybe doing some stuff from our big long list of polish items. But let's be real, probably not. Cool. If you've been watching any of this live, thanks so much for watching live. Thanks for all the tips and people sending in art assets and everything else. We're just dropping them all in. It's a good time. And if you watch this as a recording or on YouTube, thank you also for doing that. I don't think that anybody is, but if you are, that's fantastic. And we'll be back in half an hour to keep working on this at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, I will see you later.